you know, that dates back to Abraham, but was of the heroic and big dynasty of David. That's what we see in Matthew. Anybody who listened to the gospel and the church, according to the Catholic Church, the Virgin Night, will get the genealogy of Jesus Christ. How it was traced from Abraham down to Joseph, the foster father. Then Mary, of course, happened to be the mother. So that gives the natural setting for the birth of Christ. Why? Because having failed, God, in his own wisdom, in his own love, decided to pick man up again. Came in the form of man that we call Jesus Christ. That is the story of the incarnation, how it all started. Then, for some who are still very doubtful, it was set up in a very political setup, or rather, set up in a political circumstance. It happened during the counting of the census, Caesar Augustus, many years. That's need for a census. We have tried in our nation to have a census. It's not that easy. But this one was done. Jesus Christ was born within that circumstance of Caesar Augustus, the census. And they had to go back to their place of origin, which was Bethlehem. They went back to Bethlehem. It was in the process that Mary started the process of giving birth to Christ. My dear brothers and sisters, it is once more Christmas, a period that the church celebrates the birth of Jesus Christ. Actually, it should be a commemoration of the birth of Jesus Christ. That's what we are doing. Christ was born as a very simple being, human being, poor human being, coming to perform the action of a Messiah. He is the Messiah. Swaddling cloth, very poor circumstance, couldn't even find a place in the inn. So you don't need to be born a prince in order to save. That's one message. You can save human beings, you can bring succor and happiness to human beings in your circumstance. So that's what Christ did, that in his human, poor circumstance, he became man. My dear brothers and sisters and all those who are killing all kinds of animals today and celebrating, if Jesus Christ was not humble enough to come down from his divinity down to our humanity, it would have been very difficult for us to be celebrating. But we should understand what we are celebrating. We are celebrating our liberation. You see, actually the Jews were expecting a very powerful Messiah. And that was why John the Baptist, the baptizer, when he was in prison, he was already in prison. Why was John in prison? Because John was condemning the status quo, what was happening then. It's just like today in Nigeria. We know that things are not wonderfully good for the poor people. When John started saying it openly, they took him and imprisoned him. While in prison, he started hearing of the wonderful things that Jesus was doing. But then, this Jesus, whom he expected to come in with fire and brimstone, is talking of love. He's not talking of AK-47. He's talking of getting people, convincing people, giving them freedom. John said, no, please go and ask him, is he the one we're expecting? Or how should we expect another person? And like those who are with us, or who are celebrating Christmas with us, Jesus answered, very simple thing. And that is the message of Christmas. He said, told the disciples of John, go back and tell John the Baptist, the blind see, the deaf hear, These things are very symbolic. The blind see, they see the truth. The deaf hear again. People who even died were raised up. Above all, the good news was preached to the people. Good news of love, good news of redemption. So, my dear brothers and sisters in Nigeria, let us take these things that symbolize the personality of Jesus Christ, giving people light, making people to hear better, giving them the good news of hope. These are the things we should preach. So as you are eating your rice and taking your cake and taking shawarma, remember there are people who cannot even take good drink. Today, make effort to go and feed them. There are old people who have been left by their probably rich children. If they are around you, try to show them some kind of love. Street beggars, give them something. You know, it's not enough to tell them, it will be well with you. Do something. And never you say you cannot do anything. Remember that Jesus Christ, whom we are celebrating, was a poor human being, though a very rich God. So in your circumstance, do something to make this day a very happy day. For those who are governing us, we are begging. Every year we continue to talk about the bad situation, you know. And we are pleading that, we are celebrating Christmas. I will be very slow in saying that this year's Christmas economically is better than that of last year. But please make effort to make sure that that of next year will be better.
Through the years, Christmas has always been a season of profound joy and excitement, whether for children, adults, or non-Christians. So while many remember Christmas for the expectation of a new pair of shoes and a new set of dresses, others cannot wait to reunite with their kith and kin. Yet many more rejoice in the anticipation of sharing and fellowshipping with their neighbors. However, the real message of Christmas is that of a hope for a dying world through Jesus Christ, the Prince of Peace, whom God sent to reign in our lives, in our nation, and indeed in the entire world. We therefore felicitate with every Christian, every leader, and citizens of Enugu State and Nigeria at large. We also rejoice with the entire citizens of the world, both Christians and non-Christians, for whom Christ, the Prince of Peace, also came. It is obvious that as days roll into months, months into years, and generations birth generations, Christmas still brings unquantifiable amount of good tidings of great joy to all mankind, exactly as its angel had first announced it many generations before us. It proves beyond measure the guaranteed depth of God's love, including the peace that stems from him towards us and our nation. If our nation must stand tall in the Committee of Nations, our leaders must therefore begin in this Christmas season to allow Jesus, the Prince of Peace, to reign in their lives, their actions, their body languages, their decisions, their investments, their secret lives. There's really nothing hidden under the sun. So all that they are stashing away in personal enrichment will sooner than later come to the light. Nigerians must deliberately decide to stand for one another and be their brother's keeper, as Jesus had commanded. He who has 2 tunics must now give to him who has none, and he who has food must also do likewise. Pause this time and remember the less privileged be not so halves. That would be in the spirit of Christmas. Our prayers must also extend to our gallant soldiers who may be marking this year's Christmas in the theater of war, as well as the many in the various IDP camps. Now, the Christmas constant message to all, which we simply put in an acronym, the 5 R's. The number 1 R, everybody remember, in all the hustle and bustle, the glamour, the glees, the excitement, and fast-paced living, fast-paced business activities, characteristic of this season, that R number 2, Jesus Christ is the reason for this season. In Matthew chapter 1, verse 21, it says, "You shall call his name Jesus, because he shall save his people from their sins." And in the Gospel according to St. John chapter 3, verse 36, "He who does not have the Son does not have life. But the wrath of God abides on him. But he who has the Son has everlasting life." Jesus Christ is the reason for this season. Remember that. R number 3, when you remember that Jesus is the reason for this season, rejoice in this. Rejoice in his redemption. Rejoice in his preservation. As the scripture tells us in the announcement of Jesus, the Prince of Peace, coming into the world, in Luke chapter 2, verses 10 and 11, we read, and
Good morning and welcome to News Around the Globe on Aneke TV, your trusted window to the major headlines and developments across Nigeria and the global community as we celebrate the joy and hope of Christmas season, a time of peace, reflection and goodwill to all. I'm Deborah Wakaba, glad to have you join us. Now moving over to the headlines. Final batch of 130 abducted Niger State students regained freedom. NAFDAC says French Indomie recall does not affect Nigerian markets. And on the foreign scene, Ghana deports Nigerians, other African nationals over fraud prostitution. 9 killed in mass shooting as Johannesburg Tavern police launch manhunt. And on business news, we have Dangote Refinery sells petrol at 739 naira per litre across MRS stations. And entertainment, Davido, French Montana headline AFCON 2025 opening ceremony. Now to the news in details. The remaining 130 students abducted from St. Mary's Catholic School in Papiri, Niger State, have regained their freedom, bringing to an end of a month-long captivity. Presidential spokesperson Sunday Dare confirmed on Sunday that no victim remains in the custody of the abductors. The students were part of 303 pupils and 12 teachers seized during the November 21 attack by gunmen. The freed students were received at the Niger State Government House in Mina, where they are undergoing medical evaluation ahead of reunion with their families. Earlier batches of the abducted students had either escaped or were rescued through coordinated security efforts. President Bola Tinubu has ordered sustained security operations to secure the release of the victims. Authorities say the safe return of all the students marks a major relief to the families. The Kotangora Diocese of the nation The Bishop of Kotangara Diocese, Most Reverend Bulus Johanna, has confirmed the release of all students and teachers kidnapped from St. Mary's Catholic School in Niger State. The bishop who owns the school said the development was communicated to him by Governor Umaru Bago. According to the bishop, the governor personally called to convey the news of the successful release of the victims. He described the moment as a huge relief to the church and affected families. A United States congressional delegation has assured Nigeria that its designation as a country of particular concern over religious freedom will not affect bilateral relations. The delegation said the move is intended to promote dialogue and reforms. Leader of the delegation, Representative Bill Huzenga, spoke in Abuja at the end of a two-day visit during which meetings were held with government officials, religious leaders, and civil society groups. The visit followed the designation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern by U.S. President Donald Trump in October over alleged religious freedom concerns. The Nigerian Air Force has compensated families of civilians killed in an accidental airstrike in Silame local government area of Sokoto State. 13 persons lost their lives during the December 25, 2024 incident. At a joint ceremony with the Sokoto State government, a total of 51 million naira was presented to affected families and survivors of Gidan Bisa and Rumtua villages. The Air Force contributed 20 million naira while the state government provided 31 million naira. The Air Force says a response action plan has been developed to strengthen civilian protection during operations. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control (NAFDAC) has moved to block the importation of Indomie noodles vegetable flavor following a product recall in France. The recall was based on the milk discovery of undeclared milk and egg allergens. The NAFDAC Director General Professor Mojishola Adeyeye clarified that the affected product was not manufactured in Nigeria and is not registered for sale in the country. She noted that noodles sold locally and produced under strict regulatory supervision. The agency has placed port inspection officers on alert to prevent illegal importation, adding that noodles remain on Nigeria's import prohibition list. The Anambra State Police Command has arrested 5 suspects accused of impersonating vigilance operatives to rob passengers in Awka South local government area. The suspects allegedly operated an ash-colored shuttle bus to lure victims. Police recovered 2 pump-action guns, live cartridges, face masks, and fake number plates during the operation carried out by the Rapid Response Squad in Okuzu. The command says the arrests are part of an ongoing security offensive ahead of the festive season. Meanwhile, residents have been urged to remain vigilant and verify the identity of security personnel. The Federal Road Safety Corps (FRSC) has deployed additional officers and tow trucks to the Abuja-Lokoja highway following a severe traffic gridlock. The congestion has left motorists stranded for several days. FRSC says the situation was caused by heavy holiday traffic, road construction, and driver indiscipline, including wrong-way driving. Motorists have been warned against obstructive driving habits as officers work to restore free flow of traffic ahead of the Christmas holidays. The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission (FCCPC) has warned intercity transport operators against arbitrary fare increases during the festive season. The Commission says it has received numerous complaints from travelers. FCCPC Executive Vice Chairman Mr. Tunji Bello noted that while seasonal price adjustments are allowed, passengers must be informed clearly before boarding. The Commission has intensified monitoring of motor parks nationwide and urged commuters to report cases of extortion or unfair practices. The Enugu East Senatorial District Board's terminal management has commenced full enforcement of a directive requiring vehicles to load and offload passengers only within designated terminals. The terminals include Holy Ghost 1 and 2, Gariki and Amuri Road facilities. The directive applies to all commuter vehicles, including tricycles and minibuses. Operators are prohibited from picking or dropping passengers on surrounding roads or access points. Officials say the measure is aimed at reducing traffic congestion, improving safety, and supporting Enugu State's ongoing transport and urban renewal reforms. Transport unions and commuters have been urged to cooperate with enforcement officers. News around the globe is coming to you live from Aneke TV. Remember, you can stay connected with us across our social media platforms: Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all at Aneke TV. Now a quick recap of the major stories making the news. Final 130 abducted students regain freedom in Niger State. NAFDAC assures Nigerians French Indomie recall has no local impact. And coming up shortly, Ghana deports Nigerians, other foreign nationals over fraud, prostitution. 9 feared dead in Johannesburg mass shooting. And on business, Dangote Refinery commences 739 per litre petrol sales at MRS stations. And in entertainment, Davido, French Montana trio fans at AFCON 2025 opening ceremony. We'll be right back.
Join us on Arena, Aneke TV's premium current affairs program, where politics, development, and governance come alive. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we host top professionals and thought leaders who speak their minds on issues shaping Nigeria and the world. It's inclusive, enriching, and absolutely captivating.
The roadmap is let's have our environment secured so that investors can come.
If you don't know what economic security is, kidnapping will tell you what it is. You kidnap me, ransom.
Customers are going to get these meters, and like we said, it's at no cost.
There are things that dialogue can handle. But when you leave it, and want to use a kinetic approach alone, you cannot.
For discussions that promise insight and deliver truth, stay tuned, stay informed, and keep watching Arena, only on Aneke TV.
Still on the news. Authorities in Ghana's Ashanti region have deported 68 foreign nationals following court rulings linked to criminal activities. The deportees include 42 Nigerians, 30 Cameroonians, 7 Beninese, and 6 nationals from Ivory Coast and Burkina Faso. Ashanti Regional Minister Frank Amokohene said the individuals were convicted of offences ranging from prostitution and fraud to involvement in the QNet networking scheme. He commended the Ghana Immigration Service for enforcing the law while respecting human dignity. The action reflects growing regional cooperation between courts and security agencies as governments intensify a zero-tolerance stance against activities threatening public safety. A manhunt is on the way in South Africa after gunmen killed 9 people and injured 10 others at a licensed tavern in Bekesda Township, southwest of Johannesburg. The attack occurred yesterday. Police say about 12 suspects arrived in a white minibus and a silver sedan, opened fire on patrons and shot indiscriminately while fleeing the scene. The injured were taken to nearby hospitals for treatment. The South African Police Service has launched a high-level investigation as the incident underscores the country's persistent challenge with violent crime. South Korea's President Lee Jae-myung has ordered the return of the presidential office to the historic Blue House compound in Seoul. The move reverses a decision by his predecessors to relocate the office to the Defense Ministry complex. The transition is expected to be completed by Christmas Day, though the presidential residence will remain at its current location for now. The return restores decades of tradition associated with Cheongwan Day. President Lee said the decision is aimed at restoring institutional stability while maintaining long-term plans to relocate the administrative capital to Suzhou City. A Malaysian High Court has rejected former Prime Minister Najib Razak's request to serve the remainder of his prison sentence under house arrest. Najib has been jailed since 2022 over the 1MDB corruption scandal. The court ruled that a claimed supplementary royal order allowing house arrest was legally invalid as it was issued without consultation with the Pardons Board. Justice Alice Loke delivered the ruling on Monday. Najib remains in custody as he faces further trials connected to the multi-billion-dollar scandal that has dominated Malaysian politics for years. U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff says recent talks aimed at ending the Ukraine war were productive. Meetings held in Florida involved U.S., Russian, and Ukrainian representatives. Discussions centered on a U.S. drafted 20-point peace plan proposing security guarantees for Ukraine and a framework for post-war reconstruction. Russia is yet to signal full acceptance of the terms. U.S. officials say consultations will continue as Moscow braves President Vladimir Putin on the proposal and ongoing diplomatic pressure. Now moving over to business news. The Enugu State government has reaffirmed its ownership of plot 804 at Cadastral Zone BO3, Uye District, Abuja. It dismissed claims by Simonis Ventures Nigeria Limited as fraudulent. Officials said investigation by the police and EFCC confirmed the land was allocated to Enugu State in 1993 and never legally transferred. The government accused Simonis of using forged documents. Enugu State warned the public against transacting with the company, stating that the land is being developed under a valid contract for the state. Still on business, the Dangote Petroleum Refinery has begun nationwide sales of petrol at 739 naira per litre. The price applies across over 2,000 MRS oil Nigerian filling stations. The refinery says it will supply 50 million litres daily to prevent scarcity during the festive season. The move is expected to ease pressure on consumers. Regulators have been urged to monitor compliance as the refinery warned against hoarding or price manipulations. The Transmission Company of Nigeria has recorded 131 cases of vandalism in 2025. This comes despite the grid achieving a record transmission peak of 5,801 megawatts. TCN says it is working with security agencies and local vigilantes to protect critical infrastructure. Vandalism remains the biggest threat to power stability. The company reported expanded wheeling capacity of 8,700 megawatts and plans further upgrades in 2026. Now moving over to sports. Norwegian club Mod FK has suspended Nigerian midfielder Daniel Daga indefinitely following sexual assault charges. The club confirmed the decision over the weekend. The 18-year-old is accused of committing a sexual act without consent under Norwegian law. He has been barred from training and matches pending court proceedings. The case is expected to go to trial in March 2026. Daga recently represented Nigeria at the FIFA Under-20 World Cup. Still on sports, the Super Eagles held a 4th training session in Fez, Morocco ahead of the AFCON opener against Tanzania. The match holds on Tuesday. Nigeria is aiming for a strong start after losing a friendly to Egypt. The team finished runners-up at the last AFCON. Tanzania will rely on experienced players as Nigeria targets maximum points in Group C. Now moving over to entertainment news. Actress Yvonne Jegede has praised her son Javier for staying off social media. She revealed he quit digital platforms last year and has remained committed. Jegede described him as mature beyond his age and expressed gratitude for motherhood. She also offered prayers for women seeking children. The actress has previously spoken about raising her son alone following the end of her marriage in 2019. Still on entertainment, Afrobeat star Davido and rapper French Montana opened the 2025 AFCON with a performance in Rabat, Morocco. They performed the tournament's official soundtrack. The performance thrilled fans in the stadium and viewers worldwide, blending African and global music styles. The ceremony set the tone for the tournament as attention shifted to the opening football match. And finally, before we go on news around the globe, here's a recap of our top stories. The final batch of 130 students abducted in Niger State has regained freedom, bringing relief to families and marking the end of the students' captivity. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control (NAFDAC) says the reported recall of Indomie noodles in France does not affect products sold in the Nigerian market, assuring consumers of safety. And on the foreign scene, Ghanaian authorities have deported Nigerians and other African nationals over allegations of fraud and prostitution-related activities. And in South Africa, 9 persons have been killed in a mass shooting at a tavern in Johannesburg as police launch a manhunt for the attackers. And on business, we told you that the Dangote refinery has announced the sale of petrol at 739 naira per litre across MRS filling stations nationwide. While on entertainment, Nigerian music star Davido and American rapper French Montana are set to headline the opening ceremony of AFCON 2025. And that's news around the globe on Aneke TV. For more news and live update, follow us across all social media platforms: Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, all at Aneke TV. I am Deborah Wakaba. Thank you for watching.
Christmas carols and the Festival of 9 Lessons and Carols remain one of the most enduring traditions of the Christmas season, combining scripture, music, and reflection to tell the story of hope at the heart of the Christian faith. Beyond the pageantry and familiar melodies, the service carries lessons that continue to resonate in an increasingly divided and uncertain world. The Festival of 9 Lessons and Carols, which originated in England in the late 19th century and gained global recognition through the annual service at King's College, Cambridge, is carefully structured to trace the biblical narrative of humanity. The readings begin with the story of the fall, acknowledging human frailty and the consequences of disobedience before moving through the promises of redemption and culminating in the birth of Jesus Christ.
Down in the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent by God to a city of Galilee named Nazareth, to a virgin betrothed to a man whose name was Joseph of the house of David. The virgin's name was Mary. And having come in, the angel said to her, "Rejoice, highly favored one. The Lord is with you. Blessed are you among women."
Sing lying on the bed of straw, across his table with a open door. Mary cried in the bed she bore. The Prince of Glory is his name.
O carry me.
As was the stable then, the
everywhere in the same country, shepherds are abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were so afraid. 10. And the angel said unto them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people.
Hallelujah, amen. Hallelujah, amen.
Christmas carols reinforce this message through music that is both participatory and reflective. Sung collectively by congregations and choirs, carols transform doctrine into lived experience. Their lyrics speak of joy, peace, humility, and goodwill, while their melodies evoke memory, belonging, and continuity across generations. In this way, carols bridge the sacred and the communal, drawing individuals into a shared moment of reflection. The significance of 9 lessons lies in their honesty. They do not deny the existence of pain, injustice, or suffering. Instead, they place these realities within a broader story of hope and restoration.
The angel of the Lord called to Abraham a second time out of heaven and said, By myself I have sworn, says the Lord, because you have done this thing. I have not withheld your son, your only son. Blessing I will bless you. And multiplying I will multiply your descendants as the stars of the heaven and as the sand which is on the seashore.
The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. Those who dwelt in the land of the shadow of death, upon them a light has shined. You have multiplied the nation and increased its joy. They rejoice before you, according to the joy of harvest, as men rejoice when they divide the spoil. For you have broken the yoke of his burden, and the staff of his shoulder, the rod of his oppressor, as in the day of Midian.
The world today rejoices with a joy that never dies, and we join those holy voices praising Christ, our hope and pride.
Blessed God, the wonder story.
Christ is born in Bethlehem. Glory in the highest glory. His own goodwill to men.
The birth of Christ, as presented in the final readings, symbolizes renewal and the possibility of transformation even in the most difficult circumstances. This message remains relevant at a time when many societies are grappling with economic pressures, insecurity, and social tension. Beyond the religious setting, the service offers broader moral lessons, a cause for compassion in the face of hardship, generosity in times of want, and peace amid conflict. In contrast to the commercial excesses often associated with the festive season, the 9 lessons and Christmas carols invite quiet reflection, reminding audiences that the essence of Christmas is not consumption but conscience.
Joseph also went up from Galilee, out of the city of Nazareth, into Judea, unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, into Judea, unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David, to be tasked with Mary, his supposed wife, being great with child. And so it was that while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered. And she brought forth her firstborn son, and wrapped him in a swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, because there was no room.
On the second day of Christmas, my true love said to me, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the third day of Christmas, my true love said to me, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 4th day of Christmas, my true love said to me, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree.
As we gather to celebrate Christmas, we remind ourselves of God's incredible gift to humanity. He gave his Son, Jesus Christ, born in humility, to bring salvation to all people. God's love is for you and for me. He loves you deeply, knowing your struggles and your fears. He sent Jesus Christ to bring hope, peace, and redemption to a hopeless world that lacks peace and that was ready for destruction. Jesus is the hope that God has given to us as a gift. Born in a manger, Jesus came for all, offering eternal life to all who will embrace it.
For many families and communities, the tradition also serves as a moment of pause. It encourages listening rather than rushing, reflection rather than distraction, and unity rather than division. In a fast-paced world, this pause has become increasingly valuable. As Christmas draws near, the continued relevance of Christmas carols and the 9 lessons lies in the ability to recenter attention on enduring values: help, peace, humility, and shared humanity. Beyond attending services and singing familiar carols, individuals and communities are encouraged to carry the lessons of Christmas into daily life. Acts of kindness, reconciliation, and care for the vulnerable should not end with this season, but define the months that follow. In doing so, the true spirit of Christmas can extend far beyond December.
Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, 040 and season. Greetings to everyone watching. You're tuned into Sunrise on Aneke TV, where every sunrise begins with delightfulness, bringing you daily dose of brightness and joy. I am Deborah Wakaba, coming to you live from our studio here in Vibrant Onogo.
And good morning to you, our global audience. I'm Uche Osai. Baby, how was the weekend?
The weekend was
fine. You're looking like you're already set for Christmas.
I am not set, but I am
You're
set.
looking forward to it?
Yes, I am looking forward to
and
it.
Yes. I know our audience are equally prepared and getting set for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Wherever you are, at home, in your office, or in traffic, thank you for letting us into your space this Christmas period. And always, we're here to refresh, inform, and motivate.
Yes, and it's Monday, 22nd December 2025. And of course, we've got a full power-packed morning today here on Sunrise on Aneke TV. And also, we'll be bringing you our latest news, weather, business stock update, hot topics, and that special Sunrise fact to help you on your day.
So, relax, grab that cup of coffee or tea. Enjoy the ride because the sunrise is here.
Yes, and coming up shortly, we'll be kicking things off today with our quotes for the day, with something that is thoughtful and something to shift our perspective to help us stay well driven or stay focused.
Then, it's straight into the day's top headlines. All the key updates you need to remain informed will be shared, hot and tasty.
Yes, and right after that, we'll be giving you our full weather forecast covering cities across the southeast and beyond, so you know what to expect before you step out, or if you've stepped out already, is to help you throughout the rest of the day.
And later, we'll wrap things up with fun global holidays, celebrations, worth smiling about.
Yes, all right, now let's move over to our quote for today. Now, quote for today is saying, as due to the festive season, which is also saying that Christmas is all about love, family, and children. And it doesn't matter what we eat or what present we get, as long as the holidays are spent with loved ones. So happy Christmas to you all. And also, please do not forget that each year's sunrise is an invitation for us to grow, to try, learn, or simply be more present in whatever we do. So let us know what this Christmas means to you. You can drop your thoughts on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all at Aneke TV, or you can call our phone number 070-3043-7110. And up next is the weather update.
Yes, we'll take a look at the weather report across major cities in the southeast today.
Yes, I will be starting off with Oka. In Oka, the day starts warm and breezy with mostly cloudy skies in the early hours and temperatures cozy around the low 20 degrees Celsius before sunrise. As the day unfolds, expect sunshine peeking through the clouds and warm afternoon heat, maybe even some light showers later. So keep that umbrella handy just in case, and temperatures will zip up closer to the high 20 degrees to low 30 degrees Celsius, which is a classic Southeast December vibe.
And good morning, the core city. Over in Enugu, the day begins with clouds hugging the skies and temperatures around 22 to 24 degrees Celsius in the morning. As the sun climbs, we will see cloudy skies breaking into intermittent sun. It will get toasty, mid to high 30 degrees Celsius in the afternoon. Perfect weather to sip chilled drink and stay cool.
Yes, and over to Abakaliki. Abakaliki is waking up cloudy and mild, but it will quickly become a sunny, bright day with minimal rain. Morning temperatures hover in the low 20 degrees Celsius, climbing to the low 30 degrees Celsius by afternoon, which will be dry, warm, and ready for outdoor plans.
Good morning, Imo State. And over to Owerri. Expect cloudy beginnings with a gentle warm-up through the morning. Midday and afternoon bring a mix of sunshine and clouds, and we might even feel a brief sprinkle or thunder rumble later on. But generally, hot and humid in the daytime. Morning lows in the 20 degrees Celsius, afternoon highs nudging mid to high 30 degrees Celsius. Stay hydrated.
And lastly, in Umuahia greets you with cloudy skies early, warming steadily toward the afternoon. So expect mostly partly sunny conditions and dry warmth as the thermometer heads into the low 30 degrees Celsius, making it a great day for outdoor errands or festive prep. So evening cools down will be gentle, perfect for a relaxed sunset stroll.
So, wherever you are in the southeast today, stay safe, stay cool, dress light, but do remember that either rain or shine, we've got you covered. and this is your weather report here on Sunrise on Aneke TV. We'll go on a short break and we'll be returned with more updates.
Join us on Arena, Aneke TV's premium current affairs program, where politics, development, and governance come alive. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we host top professionals and thought leaders who speak their minds on issues shaping Nigeria and the world. It's inclusive, enriching, and absolutely captivating.
The roadmap is let's have our environment secured so that investors can come.
If you don't know what economic security is, kidnapping will tell you what it is. You kidnap for ransom.
Customers are going to get these meters, and like we said, it's at no cost.
There are things that dialogue can handle. But when you leave it, and want to use a kinetic approach alone, you cannot.
For discussions that promise insight and deliver truth, stay tuned, stay informed, and keep watching Arena, only on Aneke TV.
From the tiniest cells to the farthest galaxies, life holds secrets we are only beginning to uncover. Why are we here? What connects us all? What unseen forces shape our destiny? Join Professor Jude Udenta as he explores the wonders, the questions, and the revelations that define existence. Mysteries of life, where every answer sparks a new discovery. Watch now on Aneke TV every Monday.
A sị na ekwe kụọ ama agba, ekwe ụmụ nwaanyị akụọla o. Ọkwa na nzukọ ụmụ nwaanyị oge anyị ji akpa maka ọdịmma anyị karịkwa maka ọdịmma ezinụlọ. Nzukọ ụmụ nwaanyị bụ ebe anyị na-akpa maka arụ ike anyị, ndọrọ ndọrọ ọchịchị, azụmahịa, omenala ndị ahụ dị mma, nakwa ihe ndị ahụ ga-eweta ọganihu n'obodo. Naanị ihe ị ga-eme bụ sonyela anyị na nzukọ ụmụ nwaanyị ebe ahụ a na-akarị ihe na-eweta ọganihu n'obodo. Ndị nne, ndị nna, oge a bụkwa nke anyị. Sonyela anyị na Aneke TV n'ebe a na-emetụ aka na ihe ndị oyibo na-akpọ social media na TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Ọkwa na Aneke TV ka ihe ndị a niile na-eme. Aneke TV, anyị apụọnụ.
The Insight with Uche Osai.
Having the political will to confront whatever is the challenges.
Igbo man wrestles with
the tortoise that had a lot of ingenuity, a lot of ideas, and the tireless.
It will take the broad mind of government in power to say, let there be electoral reform, no matter whose heart is God.
I was there. We did everything. All of us came and supported him with our last blood.
In-depth analysis, expert views, real voices.
You're still watching Sunrise on Aneke TV.
And joining us this morning is Comrade Barrister Fabian Mwibo, NLC Chairperson, Enugu State Council. Barrister.
Thank you for inviting me.
And it's a pleasure to have you here in our studio on Aneke TV.
I'm grateful.
Thanks for coming.
Compliments of the season.
Yes. And with us is our in-house analyst. Of course, you know that this is a special moment when you have the chairperson of NLC in Enugu State. And we'll have Mr. Res Arum here with us.
Thank you, Uche. And you're welcome here to this program.
All right. Without wasting much time, sir, the Nigerian state has been through a lot. Many will quite agree with that. We've seen Nigeria being designated as a country of particular concern. There's been arguments back and forth. But one thing that we do not take away is that the attention of our government has been drawn. And Nigerians are in unison that one thing is clear. We must deal with insecurity in Nigeria. And just quite recently, we've seen your union take action. Can you please let us into what necessitated this action this time?
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Rex. Compliment of the season.
Thank you.
Rex, incidentally, was the chairman in New Enugu State when I was the secretary of the council.
Wow.
So I have a lot of respect for him. With regards to the protests at the Nigerian Labour Congress, it was as a result of the insecurity, the level of insecurity in Nigeria, and we've just noticed that no one is safe in this country. No part of the country that you can go to and say you're safe. And after a series of talking in camera, it appears the government is not interested. And of course, you know that the first and the basic responsibility of every government is to save life and property. So we notice that in Nigeria, the reverse is the case. And we now say, NLC, if you look at it critically, you find out that it's like the last man standing. Every person has gone underground since the inception of this government. It's only the press, you know, when they want to talk. Outside of that, it's just NLC. So we said we need to let our people know that what is happening today, which appears like conspiracy, that we're not part of it. It is unheard of that a government, a responsible government in place, will be watching a chief security officer withdraw the security men from a particular school, and students were taken. And we said, who is that person that withdrew the security personnel when the students were taken? And till today, nobody's talking. So for us, it's conspiracy. There's some persons have come together to ensure that we don't have peace. There's no part of Nigeria that's safe. If you want to travel to Lagos or Abuja now, you call the whole airline, they are fully booked. Why? Nobody wants to road again. You're not safe. One man told me I was flying from Abuja to Port Harcourt. They continued to reschedule our flight from 2 to 3:30, 3:30 to 4:30, 4:30 to 5. And this elderly man said, I will sit here and give you that ransom than going to the bush to give the ransom. If you like, keep me till tomorrow, I'm going to fly. That man is not less than 85 years, by my assessment. It's as bad as that. That at that age, the man is traumatized. He cannot road. If they decide to keep him for the next 2 days in airport, he's going to be there. Because he said, I prefer to give you the ransom here than go to the bush to give a ransom. So it's as bad as that. And then NLC have to come out and to let the people know that we are not part of these ill activities, and that we're not happy about that. We also want to wake the government from that slumber. You can't continue this way. You can't continue. For instance, we don't have money as civil servants. If I have meeting in Abuja, I must fly. I have to struggle, and because It's better for me to fly and come back and meet my family than somebody at Kogi waiting for me at Kogi State or at Ebola for any place. Because like I said, there's no safe place. You may even move from here before you get to a position, you are in the bush. The rest of your days is in the bush. So we have to come to the streets to let people, because if we decide to remain silent, that means that it's part of the conspiracy. And we want to let you know we are not part of it, and we will never be part of it. And we consider ourselves as the last man standing in this country. It appears that it's only NLC that can now talk. The other person is just watching while our country continues to decay.
All right. I know you've said you are not part of the conspiracy, and I know you're the chairperson for NLC in Enugu State. But a lot of persons, and I would want to voice their concern, that it took your union a long time to, speak on these issues.
Yes. What I told you, if I listened to my introductory remarks, I said, we have been talking in camera. We've been discussing with the stakeholders, Mr. President, the Chief Security Officer, and we find out that all we're saying is falling on deaf ears. That was why we have to come to the open and say, no, this thing is now getting out of hand. We can't keep our fingers crossed anymore. We cannot continue this way. People are no longer safe. Nobody is safe. Let me be frank with you. Do you take record of the number of policemen that are killed every day in Nigeria? Do you take record of the number of army people, personnel that are killed every day in Nigeria? Even the civil defense. So if they are killing police and army, based on the reports and the news we continue to hear, how about you and I that are the civilians? What hope do we have?
All right. Very apt. But before I hand you over to Mr. Reyes, let's look at the issue of workers as well. In this time and period, it seems that the Nigerian workers equally are the most affected, rather than the usual manner where people expect that NLC is usually on the street. One of our watchers is sending us, I want to know, how else are you engaging the government for the welfare of workers?
Thank you very much. We've been engaging from the inception of this government on 29th of May 2023. We are all shocked when Mr. President said that subsidy was gone. And that was when the country almost, one can say that country is also gone, because a lot changed. They are picking a lot of money, people at the government corridor. But the average Nigerian is suffering. We've been engaging government from that moment. That was why our minimum wage moved from 30,000 naira to 80,000 naira, for instance, in Enugu State, 70 at the national, 85 in some other places. It was as a result of our engagement. It is also as a result of our engagement that the minimum wage review, which used to be 5 years, was brought down to 3 years now. By next year, it will be due for another minimum wage review. Because we realize that 5 years of a time, of course, they will say we are giving you minimum wage. What they will give you is a patrocin. If you are allowed to 5 whole years, inflation will erode the entire thing. It will be as good as if you are not paying the person. Okay, take for instance the 70,000 minimum wage now. Tell me that family, even only husband and wife without a child, that 70,000 can take care of in this country. If you want to buy fare, you have a car, assuming you have a gift, you are gifted with a car, and the car is always on the road, maybe going to office and coming back, it will take you between 50 to 70,000 to keep the car every week. If you have a husband, a wife, and a child, not two, a child, and let's take it that in the morning everybody will eat akara only 500 naira, 3 of you 15. In the afternoon you repeat the same akara 15. At night you repeat the same akara 15. 15 by 3 is 4,500 a day. Multiply it by 30 days or 31 days. You know how much that's involved. Every 10 days is 45,000. Every 10 days is 45,000. By 3 is about 135 or thereabouts. And your salary is 70,000 naira. You only take in akara, you don't even add water to it. You don't go to hospital, you don't pay rent, you don't go to office, you don't do anything that will involve money. You are just depending on your 70,000 to take only akara. And you just have a child, you have thrown the remaining children away. You just have you and your husband, your wife, and a child. The remaining 2 or 3 have gone to Ikunea, for you to survive within the 70,000. You can see that's not even enough to feed. Not to talk, have to pay rent, school fees, to basic needs. It cannot handle it. So, these are all we have been using to confront the government, to face the government. But at the end of the day, of course, every government comes with its own color and attitude. This government is difficult to listen to the hues and cries of the people. And but we have continued to talk. If we didn't come out to the street to tell people that we're not part of this conspiracy, people will not know. They will say we have not been talking. We didn't just wake up and start coming. It was in our next meeting that we said that we can't continue talking indoor. We have to come out. And every other thing have been following suit. If not because of NSC and our pressure, believe you me, you can't buy for less than 3,500 a litre today. When the minimum wage negotiation was going on, Mr. President said, okay, if you want 200,000, allow me to sell for anything I want. I will sell between 2,000 to 2,500. And we say, give us time. We'll spend 7 days talking. And we say, if you sell for a 2,500 or 2,000, and we're paid you 500,000, how about the artisans? How about an average Nigerian has no job? How will the person survive? Even the 2,005, what do you call it, 250,000 will be eroded by the cost of items, inflation. So we now said, Mr. President, pay us what you think you can pay us, but don't allow for it to rise. That of course, it's like a mono economy. Well, the oil industry determines what happens. If oil costs, every aspect of our economy catches cold. So that was why we now have to take 70,000 naira to ensure that our people do not suffer untold hardship occasioned by the rise unnecessary increase in the fuel price.
Mr. Chairman, you have almost said everything, but at the same time, you said labor is the last man standing, and you have come out. Even when my colleague asked why it took time, you said you were doing some internal discussions, after which you had to take to the streets. But at the same time, you know, you have drawn a cursory look at how it all started and where it is presently. But I want to ask you, has the government not fared well, especially now that food items are coming down, the fuel prices are coming down, the issue of monopoly is being, you know, no longer, you know, held like it were stringently by the monopolists. So, what reaction do you have, you know, for this situation? After which I will come with another angle of it.
Okay, the government, if you talk about whether they have fared well, I will tell you it depends on what you mean. When you say that food items are coming down, you're being comparative relative to what has been. And that which has been is a terror on the Nigerian people. When this government came into power, a bag of rice was less than 40,000 naira, 30,000 naira. Today, how much is a bag of rice? It rose to about 120,000, now dropping to 80, 70, depending on the one you're buying. And someone will say that food items have dropped. Has it dropped to what price? Okay, a country where a bag of rice is more expensive than the minimum wage, and you are saying that who is doing well? A country where to treat malaria will cost you close to 15,000 naira, and your minimum wage is 70,000. Who is doing well? If you compare it to what we saw at the beginning of the administration, one could say that that something is beginning to happen now. But I'm telling you that unless and until things normalizes, or you decide to place people where they belong, you are still suffering. What is coming down? And the foreign rice is about 80,000 naira, and the minimum wage is 70,000. And you say we are doing well. Mr. Rez, how well are we doing?
It was not a question I asked.
So,
okay, you have given a very logical, you know, you're a lawyer, a very logical reasoning to that. Well, I'm going to ask you whether, you know, you said you people who have been on it trying to fight for the interest of the masses and, of course, your members. And you said right here a couple of minutes ago that you asked the government, instead of selling fuel and all this at very big amount of money that will erode
whatever thing you were bidding for as a minimum wage, then he should think about whatever he can pay. Have you not, ceded and given all the negotiation power you had to the president?
No.
Because you couldn't, stand at a particular point when you were negotiating. You only said he should do whatever he wishes to do.
No.
And if fuel will go high.
Rest, let me come in. Remember when the negotiation was going on, government said we are paying 40,000 naira. And we said you are going to pay us 700,000. So, of course, you know what is involved in negotiation. We continued. They said 45, 46, 50, 51. It was going on like that until we got to 70,000. When we were, as at that time, we were saying pay us 250. And when this option of I will pay you 250 and sell for 2,500 came, we now said, okay, instead of doing that, let us take the 70. It's not as if we say go and determine whatever you want to pay. Sorry about that. What we said is that we are going to take what you say you are going to pay us now, which for us we thought, because we also said that time fuel was 490, 520, depending on where you're buying. We say provided you don't allow fuel to go beyond 500 naira. That was the discussion. If you look at the script, you see what I'm telling you. You say provided you don't go above 500 naira. And they said, okay, we'll pay you 70 and fuel will remain within this range. The second demonstration we embarked on that was when the fuel now started having free flow when talking of rise in price. And the man said he's decentralizing. Let them go to this, do this, and let them know that the market forces should determine how much. And of course, in a free economy, that's what it's supposed to be. And we're still working hard, talking to them, so that if you're deregulating, let be a guided regulation. It's not just a free flow. Whatever you decide to say, you say. So the government will have a kind of benchmark. Even though we allow you to sell at your price, but let it not go above so benchmark, so level. That is what is taking us. If not so, soon after we have entered that agreement, government wanted to go to that 2,500, which they threatened us with.
Okay.
So it has not been easy. Like I told you, we continue our consultations with them.
Severally,
yes.
You declared trade dispute, and at one time again, you gave in. Why?
Thank you. People will always raise this question. In the past, the world is changing sort of a system. Recently, we've been having ILO laws, labor laws coming out. They send it out most of the time. In the past, the law is that if you declare strike, or you have embarked on strike, and your employer invites you for negotiation, if you like, continue the strike, while the leadership of the Congress go for negotiation. If you like, withdraw the strike, and so on and so on. But the law specified now that once you are about to embark on strike, or you're on strike already, and your employer say, come for negotiation, you must down tools. You must quit and go for that negotiation. You cannot be on strike and you're negotiating. You cannot, if you are threatened, I'm going to embark on strike tomorrow, and your employer say today and say, come, let's talk, you must withdraw. That's the present law. If you fail to withdraw, you'll be breaching the provision of the law. And you know that the NS is like a major target. Everybody's waiting. If you breach the law, yeah, you have given in. You cannot be handled the way they want to handle you. So most of the time, they have taken advantage of this provision of the law. And that's why you see them. Apart from this demonstration, we insisted. On the eve of this protest, Mr. President was invited. They brought that in. I wouldn't want to continue to talk here. But it was highly technical for us to embark on that protest that we embarked on 17th. On 16th night, Mr. President went for discussion with the government. But we have also to bring in our own idea to ensure that whatever they discuss there will not affect what we will do the next morning. And that was exactly what happened. That was how we came out of it. We were able to continue the protest the next morning.
And the protest was very successful?
Very huge success. You can look at it. Enugu was something else that day. We said peaceful demonstration. We walked around. We let people know. We stop from place to place to tell people why we were protesting. Right. A peaceful protest.
All right. Still on the petroleum issue, we're already in December, and soon we'll get into the new year, and that's January. I'm taking you to the 5% fuel tax that will be come in effect by January. And while Labour was protesting about workers' poor wages, inflation, and we rarely know what your position is on this tax that will be effect from January.
Generally, NSC is not averse to tax. Every country pays tax. Every citizen of every country pays tax. What we are not comfortable with is the procedure. If you are supposed to pay tax on your income and the normal percentage is applied, we don't have a problem with that. But when you begin to, just like the way things happen in Nigeria, you begin to impose percentages and whatever you want to impose at any level and time without considering whether this is obtainable. That's where NSC will come in. When they start with this tax regime, we said no. We're not saying you should not collect tax, but we're saying you have to be rational about it. You have to be rational about it. You don't just go to collect tax for the sake of collecting tax. So, and that is what has been our disagreement with them. We are waiting for the January to come. If what we see in January becomes a thing like the withdrawal of subsidy, we will come out and let Nigerians know. Look at the efforts I've been making, and also let the governments know that they cannot go that way. So everybody is waiting for the effect of that draft by January. If the effect becomes something else on the people, we cannot sit down and watch. If we sit down and watch, that means no one can take Burugo.
Okay. All right. One thing that we cannot take away from you is the fact that perhaps we will say that your protest has yielded results, because this morning we were informed that the remaining victims of kidnap from Papari in Niger State have been released, and people are attributing that to the to the success NLC protest. But what I want to ask is your recommendation that the list of those who are sponsoring terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, be released and prosecuted. And is there a time frame to that? And are we expecting further actions to that effect?
Thank you. I'm happy you were able to record this, because it's one of that was why I gave the instance of a chief security officer who said, I'm withdrawing the men. And after withdrawing the men, the same day, the bandits attacked the school, which means he was aware that something like that was going to happen, and he wanted them to have a free day. NLC will never keep quiet. We have never kept quiet, and we will not keep quiet. If after Mr. President said in 2026, I'm going to come back on these people, and the question was, it's just like in those days when you call police and say that criminals and robbers are in your house, and they'll say, we don't have fuel. That may be around 3 a.m. The armed robbers will have to wait until around 8 a.m. when police will go to buy fuel and now come and attack them. Else, you are in your own world. So when Mr. President said in 2026, and the question is that from now to 2026, whatever in 2026, whatever that's happening should continue to happen until. But people started attacking that police, that decision from all fours, and I think he's beginning to wake up from his slumber. We are not going to keep quiet if things continue. If we don't get the desired results, of course, we still come to let Nigerians know our position with regards to that.
All right, Mr. Rees.
Yeah, if since the government have not particularly, there are certain names brought out sometime of companies, people who are associated with such criminality as it was going on. But then, no particular arrests have been made, and where there are no arrests, of course, there will be no prosecution. And it means that the government may not have all it takes to actually prosecute anyone. So, but if the situation persists, what will be the position of Labour? Are you going to declare some kind of dispute in such a way that it will be a saving device for the populace, the Nigerian populace, so as to not just waking the government to slumber, but trying to check and take government into accountability for them to do something drastic and ensure that these things are nipped in the bud.
Fine. If you had listened to my earlier comment, I said that the whole thing appears to be conspiracy, appeared in conspiracy per nation. Because if a government in office will hear or see a list, and they say this list are the people, the sponsors of your bigger challenge, and you don't take it serious, it's expected that it's government that will publish these people. They will have intelligent officers who will go underground and investigate this issue and find out actually these are the sponsors of the challenge we are facing. Then the government should go ahead and against them. But since they decided to do that, we believe that they conspired. They are interested in what is happening in this country. And that's why we came out. So if it continues, the way we start, we came together during our neck and said we're going to show the people that we're not part of this, the action going on, and we don't support it. We'll still go and sit and know what tool is best for us to apply, to checkmate what is happening in the system. We're not going to keep quiet. Because even I am speaking, am I safe here? Going to the office, are you safe? We thank God that Enugu State have done a lot when it comes to security. But what we are saying is that we are living beyond Enugu. I go to Onitsha, I go to Abia, I go to Imo, I go to Abuja, I go to Kogi State. If Enugu is safe and all the states are not safe, is Enugu safe? That's the challenge. His Excellency have done noble. To be fair and kind to him when he talk in terms of security in Enugu State. They have at neighboring states. You remember the other time they had attack in Ebonyi State? It was the security architecture. They attacked those who attacked people in Ebonyi State, and they were able to arrest them. So, but assuming Enugu is safe, as it were, can we go to Ebonyi? Can we go to Anambra? Can we go to Imo? Can we go to Lagos by road? I'm not talking about flying. So, and we are saying that what is happening here should happen in every other jurisdiction, every other time, so that we'll be free. One can quickly jump into your car and drive to where without people attacking you at Okigwe or beyond, and so on and so forth, as the case is presently.
All right, very apt. But before we let you go, I want to ask, what's the way forward, especially going into 2026, in terms of reforms that will impact the welfare of the Nigerian workers? If I may, what are we really expecting from Labour going into 2026?
All right, I told you earlier on that 2026, that the minimum wage will be due for further review. We have also advised workers to consider option B, C, D income. Even where we are not encouraging workers not to go to work or not to do their work and continue with option this, option that, I also want to tell them there are free periods for every worker. Use that free period to do something else to help yourself. Do you know if a woman comes back from work and he makes this pullover that students wear in school, if you're fast, you can make 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 within a week during your free period. If you start supplying in schools, you'll be making small money that can sustain you and your family, because the government have failed us. They have failed. Those of them that have empty lands around, I know when we were farming behind IMT. When I was farming with my in-law, every Saturday, Friday evening we'll go clear where we'll farm. The next day, Saturday morning, all of us in the house will go and start farming. He has retired now, but he was a worker then. I was also a student. And every other person in that house, we were in one class or the other in school. So we were farming then, even when Nigeria was better, to sustain the family, to augment what's coming from government. So workers should take up the responsibility of doing 1 or 2 things outside of the regular civil service then, because that of the civil service business has failed. I mean, government in that aspect. Because I said, what can even 200,000 naira do for a family of 3 in a month in this country? Most of the houses in Enugu is above 1 million naira rent a year. New houses. Some are 2.9 million a year. Go to the WTC. The least you can get is about 2.9 million a year. And your monthly salary is 70,000. Multiplied by 12 is about 70 by 10 is about 700,000. By 12 is about 840,000. and your rent is 1.30 million. So what is happening is that people have to move down into a millionaire boy, and then Ababa, almost near Oki, living in Ugogo, coming to work in Enugu, where you can get a house for like 500,000, 600,000, 700,000 a year. So if you are faced with these challenges and you don't devise other means of assisting yourself, that's a hellfire for that person.
Yeah. All right. Comrade Barrister Fabian Nwibu, NLC Chairperson, Enugu State Council, thank you for everything you do for the workers and the nation, especially for your inspiring leadership in Enugu State. Thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you, my good friend, and my Oga on the top, Rex. God bless you, sir. My sister, thank you so much.
All right, we'll go on a short break, and when we return, we'll go into in-depth analysis of the news reports in Nigeria. Stay with us.
Join us on Arena, Aneke TV's premium current affairs program, where politics, development, and governance come alive. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we host top professionals and thought leaders who speak their minds on issues shaping Nigeria and the world. It's inclusive, enriching, and absolutely captivating.
The roadmap is, let's have our environment secured so that investors can come.
If you don't know what economic security is, kidnapping will tell you what it is. You kidnapping, ransom.
Customers are going to get these meters, and like we said, it's at no cost.
There are things that dialogue can handle. But when you leave it, and want to use a kinetic approach alone, you cannot.
For discussions that promise insight and deliver truth, stay tuned, stay informed, and keep watching Arena, only on Aneke TV.
The Insight with Uche Osai.
Having the political will to confront whatever is the challenges.
Igbo man wrestles with
the tortoise that had a lot of ingenuity, a lot of ideas, and the tireless.
It will take the broad mind of government in power to say, let there be electoral reform, no matter whose ox is God.
I was there. We did everything. All of us came and supported him with our last blood.
In-depth analysis, expert views, real voices, uncover the stories shaping Nigeria today. Deep dive, honest, unfiltered, only on The Insight with Uche Osai on Aneke TV. Join us.
Join us on Arena, Aneke TV's premium current affairs program, where politics, development, and governance come alive. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we host top professionals and thought leaders who speak their minds on issues shaping Nigeria and the world. It's inclusive, enriching, and absolutely captivating.
The roadmap is, let's have our environment secured so that investors can come.
If you don't know what economic security is, kidnapping will tell you what it is. You kidnapping, ransom.
Customers are going to get these meters, and like we said, it's at no cost.
There are things that dialogue can handle. But when you leave it, and want to use a kinetic approach alone, you cannot.
For discussions that promise insight and deliver truth, stay tuned, stay informed, and keep watching Arena, only on Aneke TV.
You're still watching Sunrise on Aneke TV. Now we'll be taking a look at the major stories making the newspaper today from The Nation, Punch, Vanguard, and The Guardian newspaper.
All right, and as usual, we're still here with Mr. Res Arum, our in-house analyst, who will be, deflecting and deboning the issues surrounding the news headlines. And with us is Mr. Good Hope, the sports oracle, joining us for deep insight on the news this morning.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
All right, now moving over to the paper headlines from The Nation headline. It says 130 Niger pupils, teachers rescued. And on the Punch headline says Nigeria suffers nearly 1 trillion naira export loss after Trump tariff. And still on the Punch, it says military rules anti-attack measures for Christmas. And on the Vanguard headline says, why presidency raised 2026 budget to 58 trillion naira. And lastly on the Guardian headline says, fiscal indiscipline fuels budget chaos, governance gap. And that's the headlines for today. And we're starting our paper from the Nation headline that says 139 pupils, teachers rescued. And there's a relief and renewed hope this morning as security operatives have successfully rescued 130 pupils and teachers abducted from a school in Niger State. The victims were freed following coordinated operations involving security agencies and local intelligence.
All right, this is a very good Christmas gift, to us as a nation, unfortunately. So, but we are celebrating at least that the last batch of these kidnapped victims from Papari, St. Mary's Catholic School, have been reunited with their family. And kudos to Mr. President, who said he will see to it that they are returned. But more interestingly is that government said they didn't use any kinetic means, but other means, which we are here to, get the details into. But like someone raised the question this morning, that as a nation, we are discussing with terrorists, bandits, that's what they are. And I am asking, should we be happy, relaxed, and celebrate for the return of the 130 from Papari? Mr. Rez?
Well, such a kidnap is handled with enormous care. You have to involve a lot of technical ideas to handle such situation because the kidnapped victims will be endangered if any kinetic means is used on the kidnappers. Of course, the kidnappers tend to use human persons or kidnapped victims as shield, and using a kinetic force might not go down well. So government knows, because it may not be something for public consumption, except when they have achieved what they intend to achieve. They may not even let you know exactly how they are going about it. But the important thing is that they have secured the release of those victims.
All right.
Really. And of course, securing the release of those victims should be something that a lot of people will applaud, because the parents, the well-wishers, the members of the families of the victims, all of them have been in a very apprehensive mood, especially as the Yuletide is coming. And you know that that kidnap was done in a Christian school. So with this Yuletide coming, most of the people kidnapped are Christians. So, and today, their children are going to reunite, and of course the teachers also will reunite with their families and all that. And they should be happy. I think the government has done well by securing their release. Whichever way they have done it, the important thing is that the victims have been released safe and sound.
All right, Mr. Rez, naturally I would have a follow-up questions to your direction, but let me bring in Mr. Group into this conversation.
Okay, well, looking at the current situation about the rescued victims, 130 girls who have been rescued by the security operatives, of course, and we can, like as Mr. Rez has said, we give the federal government the applaud, and we have to, hail their efforts so far. But I have a lot of questions also, because when it is involving a non-kinetic approach, we are asking questions upon what are the necessary things, what is the problem, how is a nation like Nigeria having to engage in such a method of releasing, or have, of course, we are trying not to, get the people who have been abducted into the whole thing, or into the chaos that could result to maybe shooting or whatever. But how could a nation, how did it just get here from the first time? Well, how did it get here to, you know, have the issues we are having currently? Because from what it has been a quote that was said many years ago that if, okay, I may not say it really, but it is looking at the terrorism and what is going on around the nation. If it stays or overstays, then these people or this set of people, you know what I'm talking about, this one, this one, so set of people are involved. That means that if, like Mr. Reyes said, the most important thing is that they are out. But for me, I still have a lot of questions. Why are we not having to, why are the masses, why are the people not seeing or having the breakdown of how this happened? So that we can also have it in documents or have it in our own agenda that, okay, look at how the federal government, look at the ways that they went, look at what they did to get these girls out, to get these children out. Of course, it's a bonus to not have a casualty at the process of getting them out. But we can also talk about it because the nation, facing the current security challenges, has raised a lot of alarm, and we should look into it holistically.
All right. There are a lot of questions that's been raised, but one thing, you know, from your taking, Mr. Reyes, is that when issues of kidnapped victims are involved, usually there are negotiations, you know, to see to the release of the kidnapped victims without applying a kinetic approach to the whole issue. We saw that at 1972 Olympics, you know, where there were negotiations and all that. It was where a negotiation, you know, fails to do the magic that you begin to look for other kinetic approach. However, like you did mention, Mr. Goodhope, yes, the rescue, quite celebratory, or one would call it victory for the nation, but has raised more questions than answers. And in time, we will have time to raise these questions and answer them. But let's go over to Deborah at the moment.
All right, thank you very much. Now we're taking a look at the next paper coming from the Punch newspaper that says, military rolls out anti-attack measures for Christmas. So as Nigerians prepare for Christmas celebration, the Nigerian military has unveiled fresh anti-attack strategies nationwide. And the measures include increased patrols, intelligence-led operations, and deployment of troops to flashpoints and major highways. And the military says the goal is simple: to ensure a safe and peaceful festive season for citizens traveling to celebrate with loved ones.
All right, that's encouraging. Mr. Reyes.
It is a promise. The military or the security in Nigeria, the military particularly, and then of course it is working in synergy with the sister security agencies that rolled out certain things to ensure there won't be much skirmishes or attacks from the terrorists and bandits within the Utah system. That's a beautiful, but let it not just be said, let it be actually done. Of course, they are not going about telling us what they have put in place, the things they have put in place to ensure there are no attacks. But they have assured us, assured the Nigerian people, that there won't be attack. They have put certain measures in place that will checkmate the excesses of terrorists and bandits across the nation.
All right.
All right, thank you very much for that. Well, that's a wrap on today's newspaper review. And please do not forget, you can grab any of your favorite paper from any of your favorite vendor or catch the e-paper online for more broader information. Now we're moving over to our sports updates and entertainment coming from Good Hope.
The sports oracle himself.
Thank you very much for having me. You know, this is my shrine, like we've said. So you're welcome to my shrine. Okay, on Friday we had Anthony Joshua winning the fight against Jake Paul at Florida. That fight took place and it was a record-breaking fight. I don't know if you guys watched the fight, but from what that came from the fight, the guy, Anthony Joshua, gave him 2 great punches that broke his jaw. I don't know if you followed it, but it was one of the things that made the round over the weekend. Then yesterday, AFCON started. We had the likes of Davido, and French Montana performing live at the opening ceremony. It was amazing. And the people of Morocco that hosted the AFCON has already started scoring, where they scored 2 goals. Ibrahim Diaz and the other guy scored. And the goals were amazing, of course, but we are going to see the fixtures that we have today too, because looking at the match itself, you're going to see that Nigeria themselves, from what I've seen and from the waves you've seen, Nigeria has their match tomorrow, and the other countries also have their match tomorrow. But one of the highlights of this Nigeria's match is that Davido, the Afrobeat music star of our Nigeria, has placed a bet of $25,000 for the match of Nigeria versus Tanzania. I don't know what that is going to be like at the end of the day. Nigeria will actually, the match is going to be a great match because of what he has placed as a bet. So we're going to see what happens. Then today in the AFCON, we have Mali versus Zambia. The match is by 2:30. Egypt versus Zimbabwe. The match is by 5 p.m. And we have South Africa versus Angola. The match is by 7:30 p.m. So tomorrow, our own Nigeria Super Eagles will face the Tanzanians. Like I've told you, a bet has been placed already for that. And that's by 12 p.m. While Tunisia will play Uganda. And that will be by evening. And also, Senegal will clash with Botswana, and DR Congo will clash with Benin Republic. This is how it has been, or what we are looking forward to have in the world of sports. And moving over to entertainment, you will see that one of our very own, Funke Akindele, has celebrated 27th year in the Nollywood. She made this on her X. She posted the celebrations and all other things that came, was thanking God and giving all the applause to the fans and the people who has kept watching the movies, all the things she has. You know, the other time she had a movie behind the scenes, which has grossed over 400 million naira. For a lot of money from the movie. And Funke Akindele has been a consistent personnel in Nigeria's entertainment scene. And that's a wonderful thing to have. And that's all we have in the world of entertainment and sports.
All right. And did you watch that match of Anthony Joshua and Jakes?
Well, I did not. I just saw a clip of it, and in the clip, the opponent was down.
All right.
But you have, maybe you'll be coming as an oracle to tell us exactly what Nigeria is going to play with Tanzania. Since you said Davido has won $25,000 for a win for Nigeria.
For a win, of course.
So let's get your prediction. Yes, as the oracle, we are in your shrine now. Or is it a temple?
No.
It's a shrine or temple.
Yes,
so you have to give us insight into what the match will end, either in favor of Nigeria and by what goes, at least.
Okay, well, I feel from the preparations we've had from Super Eagles, they are really putting in a lot of work. And we have seen them dancing small and catching up the fun, because it's December, remember. We'll no December without remembering, and no December without some festive moods. They are already in a festive mood. We're going to see them also do well. But for me, I feel Nigeria is going to play well. Of course, we have tried ourselves with Egypt. With the Pharaohs of Egypt just the other day, and we lost the match. Of course, there was a lot of things that came from the match, but from me, I would say Nigeria would make a good.
Let's call it. How many goes to what?
Okay. Oracle.
Tell us. Call it. Is it going to be 1-0, 2-0, 5-1? Call it.
Of course, I know it's a go-go match.
Okay, but it's going to be?
It's going to be like 2-1 or 1-0.
That's what we expect from the Oracle. Mr. Rex, do you have any...
no reservation, since the Oracle has said so.
So we'll go with what the Oracle has said. All right, and for the stock market update this morning, we are taking you through how the market ended on Friday, 19th December 2025. As the Santa Rally continued to drive market gains, we'll see a strong positive note from the market closing. The market capitalization grew by 1.08 trillion naira, and the all-share index surged past 152,000 mark. The all-share index ASI closed at 152,057.38 points, making an upward movement of 1.13%. the market capitalization was at 96,936 trillion naira, making a total volume of shares traded at 884.89 million shares on a deal totaling around 25,669. Then the market, the market breadth closed on a positive note as we saw 34 gainers and 24 losers. The top 5 gainers in this market were led by Dyke Consult and Austin Lars Company. Dyke Consult closed the market at 6 naira 60 kobo, making a plus 10% positive change, and Austin Lars and Company closed the market at 2 naira 42 kobo, making a plus 10% positive change, taking us to the top 5 losers, who are led by Sovereign Trust Insurance and Royal Exchange. The Sovereign Trust Insurance closed the market on Friday at 3 naira 87 kobo, making a minus 7.42% negative change, and we saw Royal Exchange closing the market at 1 naira 77 kobo, making a negative percentage adjustment of 6.84%. The consumer goods and banking sector remain the primary drivers of the rally. The top traded stock as at Friday were Sterling Financial Holdings, Sterling Sterling, which recorded the highest volume of trade with over 278 million shares exchanged. Then the market rallied followed that Femi Otedola reported increase his stake in FBN Holdings to 17.04%, further fueling interest in the financial sector. And maybe that is it today for the stock market update as of Friday, and be informed that the market is already open and trading has commenced. But before you make an investment, do well to consult a financial expert due to the volatility of the market.
All right, thank you very much for that. And that's a wrap on today's Sunrise on Aneke TV. Please do not forget that you can follow us on our social media platforms across Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, X, all at Aneke TV. Or call our phone number 070-3043-7110. I am Deborah Wakaba.
And thank you, Mr. Reza Ruma, our in-house analyst, for those insights. And yes, and to you, Mr. Goodhope, the sports oracle.
Thank you so much.
All right. Yeah. And I am Uche Osai. Remember, you're not here to be average. Be unique. Keep watching Aneke TV to come your way same time tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Police checkpoints. We're on the streets of Enugu to hear how Nigerians are affected by the police checkpoints. Do they feel safe or harassed?
I think that the potential to be harassed exceeds the potential to be safe. The occurrences that we witness on the road, right, especially for, let's say, the commercial transporters, right, the potential for them to be harassed is more significant than for them to be safe. Sometimes you would even be tempted to assume that the multiplicity of checkpoints, right, defeats even the purpose, because in some places they even become causes of traffic and hold up. So you ask yourself, what is the essence of these checkpoints there? Recently, we have noticed a trend that even in inner roads, inner streets, you see police checkpoints there. You ask yourself, what is actually happening? Except if there are security concerns that we don't know about, some of these checkpoints are completely unnecessary.
Police checkpoints, once you drive, they will search you, you move. But in this particular area, this our area, this southeast, if you look around, checkpoint here and there, you see traffic jam. And this time around, this is festive period. Yes, we need to have police checkpoints. But the management of that checkpoint matters. You don't need to kill people on the ground that you are doing stop and search. You allow free movement. Except where you reasonable, emphasis reasonable, suspect a particular vehicle. You can clear that vehicle and search where other vehicle will continue to move. So ordinary ought to be a safe way for us.
We don't see the value of police checkpoint these days. We know that police checkpoints, they are there to make money. They are there to collect 20 naira or 200 naira or 100 naira. Once you give them 100 naira or 200, they are not interested in searching you. They are only intimidating people. I've seen them in many occasions. They ask you silly questions. They ask you to open your phone as if it is their work. I don't see what they are doing on the way. And if they are doing, if police checkpoint is actually doing something, many things are happening on our ways. We don't see them. So I don't see the value of police checkpoint to me. Ordinarily, it's supposed to be a nice thing, but that is not what they are doing. They're extorting people. From my experience, because I'm on the road every day, and I see it. So I feel harassed and embarrassed by the attitude and their way of doing their work.
It makes me feel safe to an extent. As a lawyer, they have not really ever accosted me or harassed me in any way. But then to other passers-by or other people during the road, I think most times they do harass. But then I feel generally they are fulfilling their duties, you get. So I think they are doing their work reliably well.
It makes people feel harassed. And again, this morning they stopped one guy, searching him from head to toe. It feels embarrassed, and maybe people walking around might feel onyabuko a bandit or onyabuko onyori. It's very, very unsafe. So they should minimize what they are doing. People don't carry what they want to carry. Those people carrying those things are
Good morning. Welcome to the Sports Wrap on Aneke TV. You're welcome to this morning because it's going to be a wonderful morning. I'm sure that yesterday and day before yesterday and your weekend was great. Now, moving on in the sports show, we have a lot of news coming. On Friday, Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul had a fight, which Anthony Joshua had to, destroy the young man in that particular battle that they had. This actually raised a lot of concerns around the fighting technique and other things that happened. Anthony Joshua had this fight. They had this fight at Kesaya Center in Miami, Florida, where Joshua won the fight via knockout in the 6th round, breaking Paul's jaw in 2 places. The fight was a major event streamlined on Netflix and was the highest grossing boxing show in the venue's history. Joshua, a 2-time heavyweight champion, dominated the fight, scoring 4 knockdowns before the ending of it. Well, after the fight, Joshua had to be praised, and he also had to praise Paul's toughness and willingness to step into the ring with a world-class heavyweight. He also called out Tyson Fury, challenging him to a fight in 2026. Joshua's next fight is going to be Tyson Fury, with promoter Frank Warren confirms plans for the bout in the pending agreement and on the price. And one thing about this whole boxing of a thing for me is that these guys went home with a lot of money. You can see the fight. What Joshua did to this guy is not even good at all. What he did to Jake Paul is not even good at all. He had to just destroy the young man. And that was the fight that went on last weekend. Now, moving on in AFCON, AFCON has been an event that we all look forward to having, a look up to event. And it just started yesterday with an opening ceremony
from French Montana and Davido and other of our African artists headlining the show. And from what we have in the AFCON, Morocco won their match yesterday, and they won Comoros 2-0 with goals from Ibrahim Diaz and Ayub El Kabi. And the match was a sensation, was something that everyone, in fact, the Moroccans have been consistent in their winning streak, and their coach has praised the team for their efforts so far in ensuring that they play well and they do what they really have to do well. And in today's fixture of AFCON, Mali will play against Zambia, and that's by 2:30. Egypt will play against Zimbabwe, and South Africa will play against Angola. Mali and Zambia will play by 2:30. Egypt and Zimbabwe will play by 5 p.m. South Africa and Angola will play by 7:30 p.m. Moving on from that, CAF President Patrice Motsepe has announced that there will be the competition, AFCON, will now have a 4-year rotation coming up from after the 2027 and 2028 season. Next will be by 2032. He made this announcement while there was preparations around the CAF plans and other things. He said that the changes will come with CAF set to introduce first ever African Nations League from 2028. This is what he said, and when he was giving a briefing on the ways, on the specific processes that AFCON has taken as a measure to bring in what they call, or what they will say, the best, or especially looking at a continent like Africa playing Nations League. It's going to be amazing if Africa plays Nations League, and I'm sure that we're trying to integrate Nations League, having a sport where a lot of other teams all around the world could feature and play with Africa. But this is specifically for Africans, so that will be our Africans Nation League by 2028. But that will commence, the tournament will commence by 2032. That was when the tournament will commence. Now, looking forward to, still on the AFCON, and looking forward to the matches that are coming your way. I've already told you the matches that are coming today. Then tomorrow we have Nigeria. Our own Nigeria will face Tanzania by 12 p.m. While Tunisia will play Uganda. Senegal will play Botswana, and DR Congo will play Benin Republic. And in that match that is going to happen, I don't know your predictions about Nigeria, but our own Davido, the Afrobeat artist, has placed a bet of $25,000 on the Super Eagles to win Tanzania. He reviewed this through his X platform, through his official X platform, where he made the announcement and he showed the betting slip. I don't know what that really is, and there are a lot of mixed reactions concerning that, because looking at the Super Eagles and their state of play and their state or their current situation, you will find out that there's a lot of uncertainties that are surrounding the particular thing. But we're going to look forward to this to ensure. Davido, I don't know what he is expecting, but he has already showed us what he's expecting. And many Nigerians gave their comments, gave their verdiction. But that's not enough. They gave their verdict too. That's not enough. That's not enough. I don't know what you're planning. I don't know what you're looking forward to see the Super Eagles do tomorrow. I don't know what you're looking for. But for me, I like the Sports Oracle. Welcome to my shrine. I will tell you that Nigeria could win that match tomorrow by 1-0, or by 2-1. It could be a draw game, but I'm already seeing, as the Sports Oracle, that Nigeria would win the match. Not because of the Davido's bet, no. It's just because I have this feeling that Super Eagles have put in the work a lot to ensure that they have a good game. And we're going to see that. We're going to see that really, 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 because it's not going to be as easy as we think, because other teams are there to also qualify for the game. Now, moving on, the squad numbers for the AFCON 2025 for the Super Eagles has been released. And the numbers, everyone has taken their numbers. Frank Uzoho, the goalkeeper, leading as the #1 in the list and on the squad numbers, while Osayi is the #2, Zaidu is #3. The current and the latest Super Eagles captain is the number 4th on the squad number. Ego is number 5. Ajayi is number 6. And Lukman, Ademola Lukman is number 7. Onyeka, Frank Onyeka is number 8. Osimhen is number 9. Our top 9. Yeah. D. Bashir is number 10. Chukwueze is number 11. Desas is number 12. Bruno is number 13. Osman is number 14. Simon is number 15. Amas is number 16. Iwobi is number 17. Onyeka is number 18. Onuachu is number 19. Awazim is number 20. Calvin Bassi is number 21. Akor is number 22. The goalkeeper Nwabali is number 23. Ejuke is number 24. Fago is number 25. Akansumiro, the midfielder, Alibiosu is number 27. And Nadi is number 28. These are the squad numbers for the Super Eagles so far, and they are going to play on by 12 p.m. tomorrow. So I want you to watch out what the game is going to be. And I'm bringing your way also the people that have made their debut. This is the first time they are playing the Super Eagles team. And to me, you know, when you are called up to play for your nation, you just have to do your best, because you can move from one club to the other, but you can't really, of course you can, but you can't really move from one nation to the other in your state of play. There were many players who were not invited, the likes of the former Bayer Leverkusen striker, and Victor Boniface, of course, who is now playing for Werder Bremen. He was not invited, and other people who were not called. But if you were invited to play for your nation, I'm sure you're going to defend, you're going to play well, you're going to put yourself at the shoe of the people who are inviting you or who have deemed you fit to play for the nation. And that's what we have. We have the people who will debut in the AFCON, and they are just not so many people than the Salim Fago will debut in the AFCON. Cyril Desas will debut in the AFCON. Ako Adams will debut in the AFCON. Ryan Alejobu will debut in the AFCON. And Mohamed Usman and Amat Obesoge will debut. Even Ebenezer Akansimiro will debut. And Igo Obu will debut too. These guys will debut on the 2025 AFCON that will play tomorrow. I'm looking at the coach, our Nigeria's head coach, Erichele, playing a good game. You know, as a football analyst and as also a sports oracle, I don't just watch match to, you know, just to see what the match, at the end of the game, the results. Also, I'm also watching the style of play and what Nigeria, what they want to put in, how they want to play, and the formations, the attack, the defense, and the midfield, what they are up to. I'm sure that Nigeria has made investments, especially in this current AFCON that is ongoing. We have made some investments in the midfield. We have called players who we deem fit, who can play in the midfield. And that is what we're having. The likes of Ebenezer Akansimiro, who is just going to debut for the Super Eagles in the AFCON that is coming tomorrow. I want you to watch that match. And when we come on Wednesday, we're going to talk about it, and we're going to see what will happen, and at the long run, what we really have in the match. Now, moving on, we have the Nigerian Professional Football League fixtures and what happened over the weekend. We have the people who played, especially the Nigerian Professional Football League. They made a great mark, and currently you would see that there's no point to even doubt or what is going to happen. Like I've told you, what happens in the Nigerian Professional Football League is that when you win away, you have the best results. But when you win at home, or when you are when the team that visits you wins you in your home, there's a problem. That's a very big problem. But for me, I feel like we're going to work on that, especially in this. You will see the results and what happened over the weekend in the Nigerian Professional Football League. The Shooting Stars won Niger Tornadoes at home by 2-1. Kwara United won Bayelsa United 2-0. Remo Stars lost to Bendel by 3-2. That is really, really amazing. Rangers International, our own very Rangers, won Ikorodu City 2-1. Congratulations to Rangers International. Wiki Tourist and Kun Khalifa had a draw game, while Abia Warriors won Warri Wolves by 1-0. Kano Pillars also won Plateau United by 2-1. El Kanemi won Enyimba by 3-2. Enyimba lost their match over the weekend, and that's not really, really good for Enyimba, because when you look at what is going on right now, you see that Enyimba has to, come up with their game. But moving on from that, we will see what happens in the coming weeks, how it's going to be on the Nigerian Professional Football League table. I'm going to show you the table tomorrow, but I want to show you something important that has been making waves all over the internet, and it's not near our AFCON or the news or what I've told you earlier. It is about the guy Kylian Mbappe. He turned 27 over the weekend, and he scored his 59th goal for Real Madrid. In a calendar year, he has scored 59 goals, and he has equaled with Cristiano Ronaldo by scoring this same amount of goals in the same season. That's amazing. Looking at the kind of player Kylian Mbappe is, he said that he wants to thank Cristiano Ronaldo for inspiring him and for making him to, come to his best. You also see that when he was growing up, he had Cristiano Ronaldo. He said he's his model. He had him as his model, and both of them had been doing a lot of things together. So that means Mbappe would really, really do so much in the coming season. I don't know what you expect from Mbappe, but for me, I expect a lot of things from Mbappe, and I expect a lot of playmaking from the guy, and also I expect him to exceed the goals by next year to ensure that he will lift. Of course, we are already looking at having him win a lot of awards, a lot of these awards, and also him winning a lot of trophies with Real Madrid, and we are trusting that he will deliver, and of course he will over deliver when he's done playing for Real Madrid, or why he went to Real Madrid, what led him to Madrid, that he will get it there. And as we look at now, today I'm going to give you how it was over the weekend on the English Premier League, how and what happened over. There was a lot of dramas over the weekend on the English Premier League that cost a lot. I don't know, for me it was a roller coaster moment, because we actually have seen teams score more goals and score and score and score. We're starting with Aston Villa and Manchester United, the match that they played, that was just played yesterday in the evening. Aston Villa won Manchester United 2-1. I want to call him a name, but looking at this guy, Rogers, he played and overplayed the defense of Manchester United. One thing that I learned from this match is that you don't need to come close to shoot. I'm talking to some people who have gone on their jerseys, but that's all right. You don't need to come close to shoot. You can shoot from afar. So this guy, Rogers, scored the 2 goals, while Matheus Cunha scored the equalized in the first half. Moving on, you will see that Bruno Fernandes in that same match got an injury. Bruno Fernandes has been consistent for Manchester United, but the injury cost Manchester United the match. But we could see at the end of the day, the coach coming out to say that Manchester United played well. Of course, I think we played well. I think Manchester United played well. Moving on, we have Everton losing to Arsenal by 1-0. And I told you last weekend that this match, Everton and Arsenal, will be a lot of it will bring a lot of drama, and we saw that Arsenal could not score more than a goal, as Everton has learned to. David Moyes is doing well as the Everton coach. He's learning to play. Remember what he did to Manchester United, holding them down. So We moving on from that. Leeds United won Crystal Palace 4-1. I feel Crystal Palace really needs to know what's happening to them right now, because I feel players or football team at some point will be going down in their emotions. But I believe that they can still bounce back. And Tottenham lost to Liverpool 2-1. Hugo Etikiti scored and making it 2-1 for Liverpool, 2 goals, winning Tottenham at their home, while Tottenham even got a red card. Bournemouth and Burnley played a 1-1 draw at Bournemouth's home. Brighton and Sunderland had a draw game, 0-0 draw game. Manchester City won West Ham 3-0, and Wolves lost to Brentford 2-0 at Wolves' home. I really pity Wolves, because they are really going on relegation. I don't know what that is, but I feel that this is not really nice, and this is not the Wolves we all have been looking up to. We are moving on from now. We have Newcastle and Chelsea playing a draw game at Newcastle's home. That was a match that almost Chelsea fans, everybody held their hat. Now, seeing what happened in the Spanish, in the side of German league, we have Bayern Munich winning Heidenheim 4-0, and Mainz winning St. Pauli. Mainz and St. Pauli, they had a draw game. That was a difficult match. If you really saw that game, it was a very difficult match for them to score. There were lots of trials here and there to score, and they played a great game. We had Bayer Leverkusen winning RB Leipzig in their home. We had Stuttgart and Hoffenheim playing a draw game, a goalless draw. And we have Wolfsburg and Freiburg. Freiburg won Wolfsburg by 4-3. I know how this match really went. I will tell you later how it went. Now, Augsburg and Werder Bremen had a goalless draw. FC Köln and Union Berlin won FC Köln in their home. Hamburger, SV and Eintracht Frankfurt played a 1-1 draw. Dortmund and Bayern Mönchengladbach. Dortmund won Bayern Mönchengladbach. So this is how it has been so far in the leagues, and what is really happening in the leagues across the world. And so far we will see that there are things that we need to also fix our mind to. Now, going over to Spanish football. Spanish football happened over the weekend too, where we had Betis and Getafe. Betis won Getafe 4-0, and Elche won Rayo Vallecano. This has never happened in the world of football, but Rayo Vallecano had to lose to Elche by 4-0. Villarreal lost to Barcelona 4-0, and Girona lost to Atletico Madrid away game. Atletico Madrid was away, and they won Girona by 3-0. Real Madrid won Sevilla, where Mbappe scored his 59th goal in a calendar year that made him match up to the tally of Cristiano Ronaldo. And we have Osasuna winning Alves by 3-0. We have Levante and Real Sociedad playing a 1-1 draw, and we have Oviedo and Celta Vigo playing a goalless draw. Then finally we have Valencia and Malosa playing a 1-1 draw. And this is where we call it a day on Sports Wrap this morning. Remember, I am your sports oracle. You're welcome to my shrine. But now I'll be leaving my shrine here at Aneke TV to bring you the best of sports for tomorrow. I'm sure you're going to hang on and see what happens tomorrow. Remember, AFCON is going on. Make sure you tune in and watch as we come tomorrow to delve into the matter. It is your one and only Good Hope Chukuma here in Aneke TV. Have a wonderful morning. See you
everyone, we hit the street today to ask Nigerians a bold question.
Definitely, I'll leave because this country is not favoring anybody. The economy is hard, the youths are unemployed. It's very hard to stay in Nigeria. You understand? I would prefer to go to a better country where I can make a lot of money and probably come back to see my family. I'll probably take them with me. You understand? So generally, the country is hard. We have better countries than Nigeria, so I would prefer to stay there than to stay here if I have the opportunity. The only thing I have to say to them is they are all looking for greener pastures. But one thing is, no matter how far you go, home is still home. You still remember your roots. You understand? If you make that money, you still come back. That's what I have to tell them. Yeah, you don't forget your home, where you're from. Yes. No matter how far you go.
ASAP, like instant. Yeah, let's say you like the country. Wait, you like the country, but me, even if not Ghana, maybe they go. Maybe they go. If I have a chance to leave Nigeria, I will leave Nigeria. Where? My country, I don't say, I just in a society, we do. I'll leave Nigeria, that's me. I'll leave Nigeria if I have a chance to. Leave this country for better. To me, the country is no longer safe for us, so I have to leave the country and find a better life. Even if, to me, Ghana safe now is now better than, but all the same, Nigeria is still one of the greatest countries. But to me to you, or me to the audience out there, Nigeria is no more a country you should stay. If you have money, just leave the country.
I will definitely leave. I won't stay. Since I graduated, I've been looking for work. I've not gotten it. So why would I stay here? I have the best certificate to stay in Nigeria, but I'm not using it for anything. So I'd rather go in a country that I will make use of it.
I'll leave because I've been in Nigeria all my life, right from cradle. And also, I would love to breathe in new fresh air. So that, and also expose myself to learning things.
No, I wouldn't be leaving the country. Because if you leave the country, who is going to restructure the country? It doesn't make sense you leaving the country. You need to develop your own country first before you start going to any other country to go and develop for them. So we need to work on ourselves first. You get me?
Because I don't know, nothing is really happening in Nigeria. When it comes to education is really fucked up in Nigeria. It's not really making sense. And a whole lot do you get, and it's not like other countries are better than Nigeria, but when you look at the benefit and some things that are happening in Nigeria, to me, I will leave. I don't know about any other person. Do you get the security aspect? Security in Nigeria is very poor. Do you get security aspect in Nigeria is very, very poor. Then educational aspect is really fucked up, and employment too. Is not, you will finish school, there's nothing, you're not seeing any employment, you get, so it's not really making sense.
Why not? If I have the opportunity, I can leave and go to a better country. So where my life is secure, I'm sure that my life is secure and my family. Because here in this country now, no security, poverty, as in no light, no water. So it's like someone living in hellfire. This country is also because of God's grace here are living.
Leave this country. I won't leave my country for anybody. I will not leave my country, Nigeria, for anybody. You want to know why? No place like home. No place like them. There that are house there, they are not even comfortable. They are not, because you see that anytime they come around, you see how happy they are. If they remember that they'll be traveling back, they'll be so depressed. So no place like home. The advice is that everybody should stay back and work on this country. It's all about value. It's all about value. Value what you have. If it's akara you are frying, value it. You don't leave your home for another person to repair it. If all of us leave, they are just there making us, taking advantage of us. Nigeria is great. We have everything. They are even jealous of us. So they should sit back and prepare their country for a better Nigeria. It's in our hand. Nobody will do it for us.
Wow, so many different takes, so many stories. What's your choice? Stay or go? Drop your answer in the comment section. Igwagu Mmesoma, Aneke TV.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us today on The Insight. Remember, on The Insight, we'll bring you topical issues that help in shaping our nation. Today is the festive period. Nigerians are preparing to celebrate. But during the celebration, people are worried for their safety. Security becomes paramount. And today on The Insight, we'll be looking at these security challenges and how prepared our security agencies are to see that we are safe as we celebrate. And joining us today on The Insight is the Assistant Superintendent of Corps 1, Chukwu Pamela, PRO, NSCDC, Enugu State Command. It's a pleasure to finally meet and have you on The Insight.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you too.
You're welcome. All right. This is The Insight where we bear things the way they are. Feel free to, say it as it is. There's no hold bars on The Insight. The audience are so eager to hear from you, given that people want to celebrate. That's one thing, at the end of the year, people really want to relax, celebrate, and they want to do that, with peace of mind. And then that ushers me to my question. We're looking at the preparedness. Let me just, in generic terms, how prepared are you for this festive season?
Thank you very much. First, I want to thank everyone this morning, and thank you for bringing me up on the show. NSCDC, Enugu State Command, is very prepared for the season.
Okay.
Of course, this is not the first time the season is coming. It's a yearly thing. And we already know the trend of things. Most times you see influx of people coming back home and so many activities going on during this festive period. So we have put all our modalities in place. And we assure the public that we are very prepared to tackle the situation.
Okay. When you say you have the modalities in place, these are the modalities. What are these modalities? And this is what people are keen to hear. What are these modalities that is in place?
Good. Now, some of the modalities we've put in place is, one, we have deployed men massively out there. We deployed over 2,200 men to various locations, flashpoints, self-sport, target spots. Our men are over there. We have armed men out there on patrol. We have other men at various locations, and we also have plain-clothed personnel amongst the public. You may not know who they are, but they are out there observing, watching, and giving us back information. And aside from that, we also have our response team waiting. They are on standby. We have the men of the rapid response on standby. We have men from the armed squad on standby. We have men from agro rangers on standby. We also have our female squad. They are on standby.
Okay.
We're waiting for any distress call and then we move into action.
Okay, you said plainclothes operatives.
Yes.
Really?
Yes, we do.
People really associate that with the NSCDC.
Of course, we have a unit called the Intelligence and Information Gathering Unit.
And they are well deployed this festive season.
Deployed
Okay.
to every nook and cranny of the state.
All right. Let's have a number to that. Like, what number are we looking at really? Because I am informed that during the Eid al-Kabir celebration, in previous years you deployed about 832 men, and in previous Christmas where you deployed over 2,000 men. This is 2025, and you would agree with me that the security situation in Nigeria has heightened. So can we put a number to that?
Yes, we have over 2,200 men over. Yes, deployed. Both within the metropolis and in the 17 local governments of the state.
Okay.
Because we have divisional offices in all the 17 local governments of the state.
All the 17 local governments of the state.
Yes.
Okay.
Initially, we had just one division each. So we had 17 divisions initially. But upon the arrival of the new Commandant Elijah Etim Whaley, PhD, he added 20 more divisions to all the 17. So we have 37 divisions right now as we speak in all the 17 local governments of the state.
37 divisions? Yes. All right. It's quite comforting to know that there is 37 divisions just in Enugu State across the local government. Now, that brings me to the meat of the issue. Now, people are traveling. How prepared are you, first of all, to see that property left behind is secure? Because very soon we know that the town will be like a ghost town. Yes, so how are you prepared to have people who travel, how are you prepared to secure their property so that they go, when they go to the hinterland to celebrate, they celebrate with peace of mind, know that when they return, their property will be intact?
Now the Corps has put up team that will be going for patrol.
Okay.
We have several teams on regular patrols, both day and night. So these men on patrol will be patrolling every area of the states, making sure that nothing goes wrong. So they should be rest assured our men are on the game.
Okay, that's quite assuring to know that when we travel, we return, we meet our property in one piece. But this is where I ask now, what's the collaboration like with, let's say, the NDLEA, the police, and then the other security agencies during this festive period?
Of course, we are always having a very robust collaboration with them. Like most times we have in place, we synergize with them, we go for patrols, we patrol all around the states, go to different locations and all that, making sure that everything is normal. Of course, when they see any foul movements, take action immediately. But we always have joint patrols, both with the military as well.
Okay, both with the military as well. So what you're telling us is that this period will be seeing a joint team of NSCDC with the NDLEA, the police, the military. That would be more reassuring. You know, given the way the NSCDC operate, the people seem to be more comfortable relating with your mayor. They see that civil approach to issues, and it's quite reassuring to know that we'll be seeing more of that. So, but before I continue to ask other questions, you know, this patrol, will it be a one-off, let's say only at night, or it will be random and regular?
No, it's not a one-off thing. Normally what we do is they split the patrol into different badges. The set goes for the morning patrol and comes back. The next team waiting goes for the afternoon patrol and comes back. And we also have a team that goes for the night patrol. So they rotate the patrol thing. So it's not just a one-off thing. You go, come back, and then reinforce and go back again.
All right. With that said, I want to know, you know, there are black spots. No matter how we want to talk about security in a state, anyway, there are always black spots. Is that in your plans when you talk about these patrols and all that? Is there any special measures for these black spots?
Yes, like the ones we've identified, like around the Holy Ghost area where there's always issue of pickpocketing and all that. We have deployed men there, like the Enugu North local government that is actually very close to that location has made sure that that place is properly manned. And of course, we have men reporting if there's any issue, we respond immediately.
Okay. There is a question that is very pertinent to me, especially being that, yes, we move from, you know, the cities to the hinterland. We'll go to our villages. Is there any effort by NSCDC to see that these local communities are secure?
Yes, of course there is. Like I said earlier, we have divisions in all the 17 local governments in Enugu State.
Okay.
Definitely men are deployed to that division. So the men in that division are also deployed to strategic areas in the division, giving us feedback on whatever goes on.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. But these divisions, are you trying to let us know that these divisions are capable of handling whatever security issues that may occur in the communities? And when you talk about division, one may want to see that they may not be well manned, you know, to attend to security challenges in the communities.
They are.
They are?
They are, yes. And aside from that, of course, like I told you, we have our men of rapid response always waiting.
Okay.
Yes, so if they have any situation that they feel is going to be difficult, they put in a cross and our men moves immediately. And aside from that, the commandant has been gracious enough to also deploy armed men to those divisions.
Okay.
Not just men, but armed men are deployed to those divisions.
Okay, but practically speaking, let's say there's a situation. We don't pray for such, but
Yes.
let's say there's a situation. What will be the response time like between, if it's a situation that is overwhelming your men in these divisions, what will be the response time between them and the rapid response unit to, to the scene?
Okay, like I said earlier, our men are deployed to strategic areas based on our observations. So, very close to all the divisions, I think it will be more than 10-15 minutes and they are there.
Okay.
Based on our deployments, not up to 10.
All right. This question is not to say that the government of Enugu State is not doing enough. We've seen approaches, and they're one of the most celebrated states in terms of security. Recently the governor rolled out new drones, to man and monitor the area.
Yes.
But usually, a lot of people are concerned, that yes, there's police presence, there's military presence, but they rarely see the, the NCDC on the road, like other units man the road as well.
We do man the road.
In plain clothes?
Like, we do man the road even on uniforms.
Okay.
When you go to the highway, like Enugu Port Harcourt Highway, you will see our men there parking their vehicles, manning the road. Like sometimes you also see our men in other strategic areas. But mostly we use plain clothed men sometimes because they can easily maneuver their way into the public and get informations for us. Okay. You get, without anybody knowing who they are. So they actually work tirelessly, making sure that they give us quality information that we make use of. And that is why you see us making so much arrests, because we get those informations from the public, even unsuspecting, not even knowing that the person very close to them is actually a staff.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me deviate a little. Under the command of Dr. Elijah Etimwele, one thing that from the response we were getting is always about training, drills, and that. But I want to ask, is there a special drill, for men, your officers, to be able to handle the situation during this Christmas festive season? Have there been any special drills? Can you let us into that drill?
Drills, okay.
Yes.
There have been actually special drills, like you said, training and retraining. We have done so many drills on beat duties. We have done on internal security. We've done on so many other issues. I don't want to let all the cats out on, but there are so many other drills which we have done that have kept our men on their game. Like, these drills help them to really understand the current trends of events in the states, and of course ways on which we can tackle those events, and also rules of engagement. Yes, you don't trample upon citizens' fundamental human rights, but even in the course of doing your duty, you have to do it in a more civil and proper way, and ensure that definitely we achieve our aim. Yes, there are so many trainings.
All right. Just allow me to rover a bit beyond just the issues, because particularly it's been noted that during the festive season, issue around gender issues, especially abuse, seem to be on the increase.
Yes.
And I'm quite particularly interested when you talked about the all-female response squad. And I want to know your preparedness. Does it include being able to handle gender-related abuses and issues?
Yes, we do.
Is there any specific plans, or is part of the things you won't let out of the bag at the moment?
Like I said, not everything I will let out, but obviously there are plans on ground, especially the female squad and their activities. Like, there are some arrests where we make, maybe it has to do with a female, and of course she might feel, why would a man come and arrest me and harass me? No, we go with the female squad. You do the arrest, we bring. Recently we have a case of rape. A guy just rapes a girl, and we went and brought him, and then we are actually looking into the case at the moment and seeing how we can resolve that matter.
Okay.
But the female squad are actually doing their job. Like, mostly they go out, and then of course we have the mandate for safe school, the protection of schools. So female squad are actually on that issue of protection of schools, and most times they have created this club, like school club, where you discuss with the students, you give them security tips, you tell them what to do at every point in time and what not to do at some point in time. So this is how they do their job, and that's how we've been going about it.
Okay, but these female squad, for example,
yes,
they are not usually armed.
They are.
They are.
They are untrained.
And they go on patrol as well, like
Yes.
the
The
normal
normal
routine.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
They are all untrained.
All right. Let's get back to the issue again.
Okay.
You know, like who did say, soon it will be a ghost town. A lot of people want to go back to the villages. Yes, and part beyond the property of the citizens. Another key thing is how is there any plan or collaboration with agencies of governments, let's say the EEDC, for example, in terms of securing collaboration to secure infrastructures? Are there any such preparedness as well?
Yes, of course, there are. Like recently, I think we had a meeting with some of these stakeholders, the EEDC, the night cell. Again, so we have preparedness because our men are actually stationed in their facilities. We have men in their facilities as we speak. They are stationed there, so they are expected to man that area until, even after the festive season, they are stationed there permanently.
Okay.
Yes, to man this. Even the night cell. Like we also informed them during the stakeholders meeting that whenever they are going for installation, they should ensure they go with one of our men, so we can be sure that they are genuine, because if we see anybody tampering that installation and without any proper identification, we pick them up. So we have understanding with them.
Okay. Yes. That's quite encouraging. But I know I promised not to, go outside the periphery. But pardon me, naturally, like Oliver Twist, Oliver Twist will always want to ask. I don't know if you're conversant with the news-making headline recently, where we're being told the issue has been about forming state police, and I want to ask, though you may want to say, but I want to ask, does he really worry your organization where we have state police? Would that not mean that your duties will be relegated to the background?
No, not at all. Their duties are specified, ours are specified.
Okay, but like one of our analysts said recently, shouldn't be a thing that the NSCDC should be, more encouraged in terms of recruitment numbers to assume that responsibility in the states instead of creating another agency entirely?
Yes, of course. And of course, the issue of recruitment is actually on ground. I think recruitment was done a few months ago, and they've done the examination. So what we're just waiting for is just the shortlisting, and of course they will go for training. So we actually need men, and I'm sure everything is on ground. Very soon, hopefully, the recruitment process will commence, and we'll have more men to help us man those areas.
All right. We'll go on a short break, and when we return, we'll continue from the issue of recruitment and other issues around the preparedness of the NSCDC for this Christmas season.
Join us on Arena, Aneke TV's premier current affairs program, where politics, development and governance come alive. Every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, we host top professionals and thought leaders who speak their minds on issues shaping Nigeria and the world. It's inclusive, enriching and absolutely captivating.
The roadmap is, let's have our environment secured so that investors can come.
If you don't know what economic security is, kidnapping will tell you what it is. You kidnap your ransom.
Customers are going to get these meters, and like we said, it's at no cost.
There are things that dialogue can handle. But when you leave it, you want to use a kinetic approach alone. You cannot.
For discussions that promise insight and deliver truth, stay tuned, stay informed, and keep watching Arena, only on Aneke TV.
Thank you for staying with us, and you've been watching The Insight, and we've been discussing about the NSCDC Enugu State Command's preparedness for the Christmas season. And with us in the studio is the PRO NSCDC Enugu State Command, Chukwu Pamela. And we've been talking, yes, on this issue of preparedness for this Christmas season. And we were talking about the recruitment of more men, to, help the agency in terms of manpower and all that. But this time around, when you were speaking, you did mention as well about how you send plainclothes men into the, areas like Holy Ghost and all that. But I still want to get back to it because, these are where when you go out now, you see the markets are filled up to the brim. People are rushing, everybody is camping, some are traveling, some want to make last minute purchases, the malls and all that. But can we, it has to do with the people knowing that yes, there is somebody who is watching. It gives confidence to go out. So I want to let it not be part of those things you don't want to let out of the bag. What are you really doing in terms of securing these public spaces? Talk about places like Holy Ghost, talk about the spa, the mall, and the rest. I know there are plainclothes men. What other measures are in place to see that people feel safe?
Not just the plainclothes men, but also we have also the ones on uniform at other strategic areas. Like if you go towards ShopRite, there is a uniformed personnel there. If you go towards some New Haven Junction, there is a uniformed personnel there. You go towards Holy Ghost, there is a uniformed personnel at that Holy Ghost Junction there. There are other places where other uniformed personnel are. So it's not just the plainclothes men, we also have uniformed men that is stationed at strategic areas around this vicinity.
Okay. But it seems that the approach the NSCDC employ in Enugu State is that of, keeping men who would immediately call a response team rather than, putting enough boots on ground to, confront challenges. Yearly, it's like what you have is just those who gather intelligence and would call for, deployment when there are issues.
No, not just that.
Okay.
Not just that. We have armed men around. And the thing is, sometimes you don't just ask them to walk around inside the market. They just stand at strategic and observe what is happening. There are also armed men among them.
Okay.
Who stand at strategic. Of course, bearing arms, you don't go into the public anyhow. So they are at strategic areas. When there is need for it, they come out and do their job. And aside from that, of course, our men are always going patrolling around the area.
Okay.
So you can always call on them at any point in time whenever you feel there's anything they need to, and they will immediately respond.
Okay. So what you're telling us is that we should go about our business without fear, knowing that your men are around and are on top of any situation that may arise.
Definitely go about your businesses without fear.
Okay.
Our men are around, and I assure you we'll respond fast as soon as we get any hints.
Okay. I know, but part of being prepared, I don't know if I have that permission, but we are journalists and we naturally when we have these privileges, we'll go into the uncharted terrains, but part of being prepared, in terms of security has to do with your men. Let's talk about, I'm not talking about the welfare, what it's been before, but I'm talking about the welfare of your men, your personnel, during this festive season, because that's equally important. Is there any special package of for your men, to their welfare during this period?
Yes.
Okay.
The welfare of the men, of course, is paramount.
Okay.
Because that's what gives them the morale to actually go out and do their job. So the commandant does not joke with welfare of his staff. Okay. Anyone that knows him can attest to that. He always looks out for their welfare. So in that aspect, they are covered.
Okay.
We don't have a problem.
So what you're saying is that we should be rest assured that the men will see, we'll see them there are not hungry men. They are well taken care of, such that they could dispense with their duty without, hunger or...
They are good to go.
Okay. Now, now that we're talking about welfare, recently, I want to go into it. YIPO conducted an in-house training of sorts, where skill acquisition and all that. Yes. Is that why, what necessitated that kind of training, and
Okay, that training has to do with, mostly the training was meant for the officers' wives.
Okay.
The officers' wife, you look at the situation sometimes, you find out maybe some of the wives aren't doing anything at home, while some might just be doing menial businesses. So it was necessitated to help them so they can as well support their husbands. And with that support, the husbands, of course, definitely will have this encouragement to come out and do their job without thinking that, oh, maybe he has left something at home that is unattended to. Of course, he will have this confidence that the wife he left at home is able to cover up. So that little training, the one was conducted by the Civil Defense Officers' Wives Association. So officers' wives were brought in, they were trained. After the training, they were given a startup package to start up the business.
Okay,
yes.
And that is specific to the command here in Enugu?
Yes, sir, just specific.
Those are parts of the new initiative coming from your commander?
Commandant, yes.
Okay,
yes.
But beyond the wives, you know, I'm looking at your personnel, beyond the drills, are there, you know, trainings such as human relation training, courses for them to improve approach and all that? Do you organize such training as well?
Of course we do. Of course we do. There are so many trainings like that on ground where we organize. Mostly when you talk of all these trainings, there are ones they go for at the national headquarters.
Okay.
They get trained for months, a specific number of months, specific courses, and when they are done, they return back to their units. So there are these trainings ongoing. It's a continuous process. It doesn't stop. Yes, it's a continuous process.
All right, let me get back to the issue again.
Okay.
It seems we've drifted a while, but part of the challenge, especially here in Enugu, the issue of one chance, I don't know if you're conversant with that.
Yeah.
Has that been reported to your command as an issue?
Of
And
course,
it's always
of
on the
course.
increase during
this
festive.
festive period.
Is there any
Of course.
specific approach or measure to curtail this issue of one chance and all that?
Of course, there are.
Okay.
Now you see, like I rightly said, I may not be able to tell you everything online because just as the good citizens are watching, the bad ones are also watching. So you don't let everything out.
Okay.
But we have measures to checkmate one chance.
Okay.
We have men who are specifically trained on that. Now sometimes they go out on tricycles. You see them as a normal tricycle rider.
Okay.
But they are not just riding the tricycles, they are out there watching.
Okay.
And taking notes.
Okay. But those measures, are they yielding results already?
They are. Like recently we had an issue where a guy was brought in was the same issue, and of course we are still handling the issue at the moment. So we have positive results because it's obviously on the increase this period. So definitely our men are out there every day giving people, sometimes we even, like when we have visitors in the command and maybe they came for one thing or the other, we kind of give them one or two tips. Please, this period, don't do this, don't do that, because this was happening. So they get to know, and of course it helps a lot in making people become aware of their surrounding and be very, very vigilant and observant.
All right.
Yes.
This period, there will be a lot of activities in the worship centers as well. Are there equally moves to be in those worship centers, see that they are safe, secure for the people to, you know, troop in, worship, then go back and, you know, what some people will say, jollificate?
Of course. Yes. Most of the worship centers have been taken into consideration, and men have been deployed. As I speak to you today, we also deployed more men to man those places, today being 22nd.
Today being 22nd?
Yes, they start manning those places from today, not even on that day particularly.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Let's go back a bit.
Okay.
We're talking about collaboration, and I really want our audience, you know, to be brought in so they will hear what this collaboration is, especially with the Enugu state government and inter-agencies, you know, going into this festive season. I know you've spoken about it, but we can but help to, you know, still expand and expatiate on it. Yes.
Okay. Well, I really want to commend Governor December he has been doing quite a lot when it comes to security of the states. Of course, he is also interested in seeing that collaboration. And he has done so many moves, and of course, NSCDC, the police, DSS, NDLA, even the military, all, we've gone for several joint operations. And this period is not going to be the same. We are still definitely going for more joint operations.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Before I let you go, I'm going to ask about those security tips, you know, and advice that you will give the people. Okay. Yes, those will not be part of the things you won't let out of the bag.
No, of
there are
course
things you would have to tell people who are going into the market, who are going to the worship centers, who are going to jive, you know, like there's a party that went on in last night, where people, and we'll see more of that during festive season.
Yes.
So what are the security tips to the people who are watching?
Okay. Well, people have to be very, very vigilant. That's the first one. You have to be very, very vigilant. Ensure you are very, very observant of your surroundings. And that's one. Then secondly, those leaving their homes to travel, ensure to lock up your homes very well. Make sure you lock the homes very, very well. And then I think I want to advise residents to think of investing in putting CCTV cameras and alarms in their houses. That will surely help.
Okay.
With an alarm, you could just alert someone close by that something is going wrong in so compound, and then of course something will be done. Then aside from that, there are people that have valuables. They should learn to secure their valuables. Don't show off your wealth. Don't be easy to show off your wealth. Some people want to take advantage of it when they see. And then in the communities, there has to be vigilance. You look out for your neighbor. When your neighbor, you come out and you don't see him, try and see if he's fine, if he's okay. Let's be our brother's keeper. And then one very important thing I want some people of Enugu State to do is, when they see something, you see any wrong move, you see anything you don't really understand, or any person you suspect, please say something. When you see something, say something. Don't keep quiet. It's only when you give us the information that we are able to act and then serve you better. So that's my advice.
All right. But I know you've given advice, but as we are speaking, it occurred to me to ask, is there any collaboration with the Market Association, you know, to see that, yes, when you were giving tips, you talked about when people travel, they should remember to put off their appliances, get up CCTV cameras as well. And it occurred to me that, you know, one of the things that usually you see, though not regularly in this state, but think about Lagos, Onitsha, usually this season, you hear about infernos in the market. So, and that's why I'm asking, is there any sort of awareness and collaboration with Market Association, as many markets will be closed during this celebration?
Yes. Normally, well, we always have meetings where we invite their leaders, maybe the chairman and other persons who are vital there. And then we discuss such issues with them. Of course, we let them know that this period they should be looking out for, of course, people that are willing to break into shops and steal. And then people that are also want to even thief in broad daylight. So they should be very, very observant. That's one. And of course, we give out numbers they can call whenever they need an assistance. Okay. And of course, when it has to do with the issue of putting off their lighting, it's something that the chairman of the market and the other ESCOs are always bringing it out to the market people, telling them, do this, do that, and I think it will really help. It's always this publicity on that.
All right. And talking about this advice that you're giving to people for just emphasis, right? For just emphasis, you are telling the Enugu that they can travel home knowing that their property are safe, secure, and that when they get to the villages, that your men are still on ground to see that there is not just peace, but safety for all.
Of course.
Okay. Having said that, you were talking about a number, and if you don't mind, please, can you call the number out so that our audience can equally, you know, have this contact.
Okay, I want to call out the numbers of the leader of the armed squad. You get to him, the voice moves out immediately. And also the number from our anti-vandal squad. I also call out the number from our rapid response squad. And then my phone number.
All right.
If you can reach me, I'll reach out to them and of course something.
Well, that's quite generous. Please.
Okay. The one for the armed squad will have 0803 601 234 6. I take it again. 0803 601 234 6. A second number for the armed squad, 0807 222 9834. I take it again, 0807 222 9834. Anti-vandal. 0803 687 5563. Anti-vandal again.
Okay.
Okay. 0803 687 5563. And
okay.
Rapid response. 0803 630 1955. I take it again. 0803 630 1955.
Okay.
And my number, the PRO, 0703 691 8763. I take it again. 0703 961 8763. Thank you very much.
All right, that's quite generous of you and your agency. At least with that, I think people of Enugu will be quite assured that their safety is your concern.
Of course.
And then, finally, before I let you go, I know you've called these numbers and you've spoken about it, but we can't talk about it enough. You know, safety.
Yes.
You know, safety is of essence for people to celebrate with peace of
Of
mind.
of course.
Before I let you go, PRO, just for the last time, one more advice to those who are traveling and those who are staying back.
Okay. To those who are traveling, please ensure you let your family know where you are traveling to. Let family members know. And then be very, very observant while you are on the road. There are some signs you see on the road and you need to think. If you're going on the road and maybe for 5 to 6 minutes, 10 minutes, no other vehicle is coming, I think you should think and stop and watch to find out what is really happening, that others are not coming, so you don't fall into a trap.
All right.
Yes, then those at home, please be very observant. Like you rightly said, the city might be a bit scanty when people go to the village. If you see anyone that you don't understand his moves, please make a call and we will respond.
All right. All right. That's quite in-depth in this ensuring the people about their security and your preparedness, you know, throughout the Christmas season. And we've been speaking with the Assistant Superintendent of Corps 1, Chukwu Pamela, PRO, NSCDC, Enugu State Command. Thank you for coming to the Insight today. It's a pleasure speaking with you.
It's a pleasure.
Yes, and that is it today, for today on the Insight. I still remain your host, Uche Osai. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you so very much.
As Christians across Nigeria prepare to celebrate the joy and spirit of Christmas,
Religious leaders in Enugu have sent heartfelt messages to guide the faithful during this festive season. From Orthodox to Pentecostal churches, their calls carry a common theme: love, peace, and unity. At a time when families and communities come together, these leaders urge Nigerians to embrace compassion, forgiveness, and togetherness, reflecting the deep meaning of the holiday. Aneke TV News has compiled these messages, highlighting the voices of faith leaders as they encourage communities to celebrate thoughtfully and joyfully, keeping the spirit of Christmas alive in every home. Catholic, Anglican, Methodist, and Pentecostals.
The meaning of Christmas really is God is with us. Emmanuel is with us. At every point of celebration in these days, we must remember that God is with us. With us in every situation, in our businesses, in our homes, and in whatever we do in politics. God has stepped into your pain. Remember this. And your shame and your embarrassment. That situation must be ready to recognize that a son is given to help you to come out of the situation. Christmas, generally, the mission is to serve and restore. To serve humanity and restore humanity. Unto us a child is born. Unto us a son is given, and the government shall be on his shoulders, and he shall be called Wonderful, Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace, Mighty God. Did you hear that scripture? Unto us a child is born, and unto us a son is given. The government of your home, government of your nation, government of your business, government of your church shall be on his shoulders. And therefore, I wish every family a very, very Merry Christmas.
I want to wish a happy Christmas to all the believers all over the world, all the Christians in Enugu, Nigeria, and beyond. Christmas is a season of celebration. It is a time when believers all over the world gather together to commemorate the birth of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. And I pray that this season of celebration will bring unending joy to every family that dare to celebrate this season. And one funny thing about Christmas is that even those who don't go to church cannot deny the wind of the season. So, whichever way, I wish everyone happy, blissful Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
If he was not born at this time, our faith in Christ, our faith in God would have been in vain. It was because his arrival on this earth that made everything possible for us. And hereby, I want to encourage the people of Enugu State and the entire world to embrace Christ. He brought into us a new glory. He brought a new vision. He brought in mercy. And that is why the Bible said that whosoever believed in him, whosoever that accepted him, make a U-turn and believe in him, is a such person will not be perished. That person will not suffer the punishment of the old. That person will not partake in the evil of the family. That person will not partake in the destruction that is coming ahead. But once you believe in him, you are safe. That is why we celebrate him today. Honestly, it might not be that Jesus was born exactly on 25th of December. But when the earlier father discovered everything going on, they said, no, this kind of person needs to be celebrated. And that was when they brought him to be celebrated every 25th of December. I want to encourage you, celebrate Christ with fear. Celebrate this season with all form of remorse, knowing that a man was born that brought salvation to you. This is not a season to live a lousy life. This is not a season you say, it is a must that I must accomplish this and that and that. Anyone that you were unable to do, relax. Next year, you continue. Jesus is alive. I will forever be alive.
I would like to remind Christians, all of us, that the most important thing is remember the birth, yes, but the death and resurrection of our Lord Jesus Christ and what it means to us. And have this in mind. It means that we have salvation. It means that we have redemption through his death and through his resurrection. That is our Christmas message to Christians.
Jesus Christ came to change the narrative. He came in to bring hope to the hopeless, to bring life to the lifeless, to bring joy to the joyless, and to bring peace to the non-peaceful situations. He is the Prince of Peace. And since he came in, the narrative of the whole world has changed. So with Christ and the mass about him that we are celebrating is a mass of hope, a mass of reassurance. Number one, that God has not forgotten man. That times when things are so bad, we think, has God not forgotten me? Or has God not forgotten us? But Christmas reassures man that God does not forget. And God will not forget. So every time we celebrate Christmas, it should be a time of reassurance. It should be a time of renewed hope that however bad things might have gone, a time of change is coming. And that's what I want all the viewers to know. I don't know what has been very wrong in your life. I don't know the challenges you have faced. I don't know the semi-hopeless situation in your life. All I can tell you, because of Christmas, hope is coming. There's hope. A new dawn will come. It's like we are down to the lowest pit, but Nigeria will rise again.
Love versus money in Nigeria. What do people think? Is love really enough, or does money always play a role in relationship in Nigeria? We went out to find out.
Of course, yeah. Love can survive without money. It depends on the partner. When both of you are in love, you believe in future, that tomorrow will be better than today. So with the love, with togetherness, you can make it. You grow your family, you grow your love, then money can now come in. But you can see a family where there is money. When you enter there, the money might vanish away and the love will also disappear. But once you have that genuine love, love will be there, then the money will also be there too. Like myself, I married an average man. He's not wealthy, but they were living together happily, making, as in surviving the Nigeria harsh economy. So that's why I said that, yeah, with the current situation in Nigeria, love can still exist without money.
Currently in Nigeria, I'm not sure. It depends. If the two partners are both financially okay, it can. But if it has to do with two broke people, I'm not sure. If I'm broke, I cannot marry a broke guy. I can't think about marriage. So that's it. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, I think love can survive without money. Because love can be It can be exchanged with materials. It's not just about money. And it can be exchanged, it can be shared with value. When you offer value, you are not just offering money, you are also offering hope and any other things that comes with it. It's not just about money, but money helps in spicing it up though.
Well, it's a very difficult thing, a very difficult situation if you put it like that, because at times money is what keeps things stable in a house between two people. If there is no money, a lot of problems comes up. A lot of financial issues can cause relationship problems, can cause arguments between the two individuals. So it's not that it cannot happen, but it's very difficult. But it's possible because at times partners can be very supportive of each other and help out no matter the situation that arises. So it just depends on individuals, how they behave and their own traits towards their partner. At times when difficulty arises, that's what will determine what will happen.
Of course, it can survive. Love is something that is so mutual and is emotional. So even without money, if you love someone, you can work hard with the person so that the money will come. You get? Like as a lady now, if you meet a man that doesn't have money or a man that has money, as a lady you are supposed to be investing in yourself too. So that even if the guy does not have, you'll be supportive to the person, to the guy that is with you. So love can eventually survive without money. As far as you are hardworking and you have ambitions, I can go with you because I know that once you are working and working, one day it will click and everything will be fine.
Human beings need money to survive. It's not even about love. Every day you live, you must sustain your physical body. So as a human being, for you to live, you need money. Then love is an expression of our living reality. So as long as human beings require money to live and survive, it's already obvious that whatever relationship you are in, you will require money to survive.
After God is money now. Because without money, there will be no love. Apart from God's love and God himself. Every other thing without money is just fake. Absolutely.
Yes, because there's true love, shall. There's a guy who love a guy without his money. For me, I can stay, as far as the love is good without money, I can stay with it. But if the girl love me without my money, it's good, shall.
No, you cannot, because nobody feel love you if you don't get money now. That is it. Even you whether ask me a question, I know say you don't feel love me if I don't get money. That is it now.
Of course, it's possible. Of course, it is. It is possible. Only when we love genuinely. Just like Christmas. The reason why we are celebrating Christmas, that is Jesus Christ. There is no love that is greater than the one that he has shown. His love is not because of money. And he gave us that example. If we can follow his footsteps, it is very, very possible. Love is not money, but sharing.
For me, everything depends on the understanding we share. Love can literally survive between the man or the woman or between the country. Like everything depends on how we understand it, you understand? So that's the same. But most especially for me, the money is important because they are
Good afternoon and welcome to news across the country on Aneke TV. Your trusted source for the latest developments from every corner of Nigeria as we celebrate this joyful Christmas season, a time of hope, peace and togetherness. We bring you the stories that matter most to you and your family. I am Deborah Wakaba. Now to the headlines. FG flag Bodobon opened by federal government. Senate President to Supreme Court over Senator Natasha's suspension. Kwara firefighters contain blaze at Ilorin recycling plant. Cross River arrests unlicensed travel medical vendors. And now to the details of the news. The Federal Structural Safety of Nigeria's housing stock revealing that 16.2 million homes fail to meet basic habitability standards. The Minister of Housing and Urban Development wide by yes the lowest. Provide housing deficit nationwide to tackle based guidance for housing policy and investment, helping the government focus on upgrading existing homes, boosting investors' confidence, and stabilizing the housing market. The federal government has opened the 335.7 Minister street light 30 meters along the road. He said this Senator Natasha Wotil-Dowan sues the Supreme Court following a setback at the Court of Appeal. Out his case describing the federal government's brief act fundamentally defective, citing procedural errors such as wrong font size, exceeding page limit, correction permission. Senator Bob the dispute involved was the suspension the Supreme Court. Meanwhile, the Democrat has threatened impeachment or if the president is found to have usurped support argue the changes modernize revenue collection and strengthen subnational fiscal autonomy. Agents assignment, which was part of the distribution network investigation that began in 2024 when the cartel's leaders were apprehended while attempting to cross into Ghana. The NDLEA chairman, retired Brigadier General Mohammed Buban Mawa, praised operations precision and warned that the agency remains on high alert during the festive season to intercept further illicit shipments. The Nigerian Correctional Officers' Wives Association, NICOA, Enugu State Chapter, has facilitated the release of 6 inmates from custodial centers across the state. Coordinator Ms. Peace Igwe said the group secured the release through fines, restitution, and bail sponsorship. Beneficiaries also received cash support to start small businesses and reintegrate into society. NICOA conducted health screenings for officers and their families and organized skill acquisition programs for host communities. Officials praised NICOA for its humanitarian work, describing the association as an instrument of change. The event also featured the launch of NICOA's new uniform and an end-of-year get-together celebration. The member representing Isu Kwato, Umuneochi Federal Constituency, Honorable Amobi Godwin Oga, has commended Governor Alex Oti for reconstructing the Abia State Lodge in Abuja. He described the project as a symbol of Abia's renewed prestige and commitment to effective governance. Oga said the quality and design of the lodge reflects attention to detail and a deliberate effort to reposition the state as credible and forward-thinking. He argued that the project reinforces Abia's national image and competitiveness. The lawmaker assured continued support for Governor Oti's vision, saying the lodge is a tangible statement of the renewed hope, narrative, and an investment in the state's identity and reputation. Kaduna Governor Ubasani joined thousands of worshippers at the Umaru Yaradua Conference Center for the 2025 Unity Christmas Carol. He praised Christians for fostering dialogue over division and emphasized faith as a bridge to collective progress. Sani highlighted his administration's infrastructure achievements, including 85 roads covering 785 kilometers near completion, 550 kilometers of roads and bridges in the second phase, 255 upgraded primary health care centers, and a new 300-bed specialist hospital. The governor said over 10% of the annual budget is dedicated to agriculture and rural development, reflecting the true spirit of Christmas through selfless service and efforts to improve the lives of Kaduna residents. The National Pension Commission, PENCOM, has launched PenCare, a healthcare initiative for low-income retirees, shifting from mere fund administration to social security. President Bola Tinubu directed the program, which will start in March 2026, with a pilot enrolling 30,000 retirees earning less than 40,000 naira monthly. The scheme ensures retirement savings remain untouched while providing medical coverage for critical illnesses, including cancer and kidney disease. Funding comes from a portion of PENCOM's fees and pension operators' post-tax profits, with oversight by an independent board of trustees. Flexible co-pay options are available for retirees earning above the threshold. The initiative aims to protect the dignity and welfare of senior citizens and reduce the financial burden of healthcare in retirement. You're watching Aneke TV News across the country. Remember, you can follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, all at Aneke TV. Now, a quick reminder of major developments in the news. Federal government flags 15.2 million homes as structurally unsafe. Bodo Bone road temporarily opened by federal government. Senate President heads to Supreme Court over Senator Natasha's suspension. And coming up shortly, Kwara firefighters contain blaze at Ilorin recycling plant. Cross River arrests 10 unlicensed straddle medical vendors. We'll be right back.
From the tiniest cells to the farthest galaxies, life holds secrets we are only beginning to uncover. Why are we here? What connects us all? What unseen forces shape our destiny? Join Professor Jude Udenta as he explores the wonders, the questions, and the revelations that define existence. Mysteries of life, where every answer sparks a new discovery. Watch now on Aneke TV every Monday.
Come back. The Kwara State Fire Service contained a major fire at Madfa Nigeria Enterprises, a plastic recycling facility in Lorry on Sunday evening. Firefighters responded to a 5:10 p.m. distress call with 2 heavy-duty trucks, preventing the blaze from spreading to nearby buildings. Investigations indicate that welding activities inside the factory caused sparks, igniting stacks of plastics and triggering the inferno. The rapid fire post